Hello, everybody.
Meow.
Yes. Okay. So, welcome to Avatar Perfect Imbalance. And so, we start out in the traditional way. Previously on Avatar, what was supposed to be a chill session ended up being decidedly less so. After some very good relaxation on Interasu and talking about the possibilities of what was to come, as well as Hiro and Yura meeting a fire spirit who told Yura that her dad was still alive. This moment was then interrupted by Toph landing on the island. So, because of that, they had to fight the Steel Soldier. However, when it seemed as though Iroh would kill Toph, a Fire Nation man on the ship called Zhong stopped the fighting. He got everyone to talk, and after revealing that Toph was only working because she'd been conscripted on the threat of the Dai Li killing her family, they agreed that Toph hadn't seen them and would explore the other islands between the Fire Nation and the Western Air Temple, and that if they knew what was best for them, they'd probably be somewhere else before she ran out of plausible deniability. And so that was the previous session. Is there anything I'm forgetting?
Meanwhile, Kemushi and Kemushi were having a grand old time, being completely oblivious to all of this.
Meanwhile, Lily was starting the washing up.
Well, because Kyaki's player was not here.
Ah, cruel fate.
Mm-hmm.
But, with that, the glass ship has left. What is everyone doing, or what would everyone like to do?
Well, I buggered off to go tell Iroh that I've forgotten his name had visited.
Zhong?
That's the one.
Hiro grumpily heads back to Tanawe's place.
Ning does some meditating.
Alright.
Mark will arrive back at the house, see her pentagon of scrolls on the ground, and then jump back into it.
Katsurou is crawling over the scrolls and has taken one and is sort of sticking it in the fire.
No!
Katsurou looks confusedly up at you and says, "Oh, was this important?" But you have so many of them.
Is it is it too late to save?
Nah, some of it is singed, but it's not unsalvageable.
Cool. I'm gonna put out the fire and then roll it back into place. She looks surprisingly distraught. She sits kneeling down, takes a deep breath, and then goes back into doing everything.
Katsurou just stares at you for a bit. Anyone else got anything to do?
Europe will probably just sit on the beach and stare out to sea moodily.
Can we conveniently say that Kyahi and Kemushi are walking up along the beach at this point?
Oh my god.
Yeah, sure, why not?
Hiya!
She'll wave hello.
You okay?
No, she is not.
Well, I
That's
can, well, I can see
Kemushi.
that. I'm going to assume that was Kemushi.
Yeah, it was Kemushi.
Well, I can see that, but people just don't like it when I assume things. So that's why I asked.
Yeah, but I can't pretend I don't know what I know.
I know. It's okay.
Nice at her.
That was not Heather.
That wasn't me.
All right.
That was me.
Either way, that was pretty good.
I don't know how all I'm eating is butter noodles. Because
It was probably from the cabbages that Kiahi and Kemushi were eating.
Yes, probably.
Kemushi will sit down next to Yura and look out over the ocean.
Yura is just probably quietly waterbending to heal whatever wound she got from fighting Toph.
Mm.
That happened.
Oh, yeah, a bunch of stuff happened while you were out up island.
It probably has to do with the bang that happened. I didn't mention it because I didn't want us to stop talking.
Oh, I didn't notice it.
Yeah, it wasn't an explosion. It was just a thud.
So somebody dropped a mic.
It almost sounded like someone messing with their audio.
Kemushi looks down and says, "Sorry, I shouldn't do that."
No, it's okay. It's understandable. I probably would have just had us hide anyway.
But what was it?
The Earth Kingdom apparently tracked us here, and we had something of a confrontation. But
Wait, what? They found us?
yes.
What are we doing this thing around? We need to go now!
I don't think she'd just be sitting here if there wasn't something.
Well, we've been given kind of like a grace period to before more Earth Kingdom, or before anyone else comes looking for us. But it's probably not. You're right. It's probably not a great idea to stay here for too long.
Well, the Earth Kingdom may have given us a free period, and that may mean the Fire Kingdom has. That doesn't stop the Empire Balance from coming and looking.
No.
That's.
I should also point out it's not the Earth Kingdom that's given us pass. It was that particular. We managed to negotiate that with that particular agent of the Earth Kingdom.
Which means which gives even more reason why we need to leave.
Well, you go and get Aunt Lily moving, and encourage. I don't know.
There's suddenly a dust cloud.
Kemushi actually stays with Yura And when Kiahi's a good ways away, would Kiahi have told her the adverse effect that explosions have on her?
Yes.
When Kiahi's far enough away that it wouldn't affect her, Kemushi just screams out and fires off a bunch of combustion blasts over the ocean. Before he
Shit.
just crumples back up next to Yura.
Shit.
Sorry.
It's all right. I just, wow. I thought I'd get it bad.
I'm making the Empire of Balance chase after you. I'm making you guys unsafe, and I hate it. I'm making the war worse just by existing, and I hate it.
I mean, yeah, but there's not, you can't not be you, or
I wish I could sometimes. I don't blame I don't blame I don't blame Kiahi for running away, or for taking a new identity, or forgetting. Because I want to. I wish I could, but I never can. And I know that I wouldn't be happy. I'm so happy that I have what I have again now, but it's still just... Ah! And she fires off another volley of blasts over the sea.
I'm just glad you're on our side.
Me too. I don't want to be like Mom. I should love her, but I don't think I do. I think maybe I'm too scared to love her.
Well.
But that's not your problem. I'm just saying it because I have to.
I mean, it's okay not to love someone. I mean, just because they're your parent doesn't mean that they're, a good person or worthy of your love. Or
That's true. It's just not how it should be.
No. Lots of things are not how they should be.
I can tell. I can tell that you've been hungry before. You're like me.
How so?
You've been hungry, and you've been alone.
Well, I'm not alone now. And not just because you're here.
Yeah. I'm glad that's the case. I know that I need to not be alone anymore. And I think you probably need it too. But it's hard when you've been alone so long, isn't it? In a way, I have it easier. I can't be closed anymore. I was forced open.
Yeah, I
I don't recommend it.
being forced open.
Yeah.
Or-
It's what had to happen with me. Sort of, kind of. But it's not always good. I don't know if it's even mostly good. It's just what's healthiest for me.
I don't know if I'd say that I'd been alone for a great deal of really alone. I mean, there's always
Yeah.
been people around, but for the last few years, it's been I've had to hide who I was from everyone, which is a different kind of loneliness, I think.
Yeah. I'm glad
It's,
I'm glad I was able to see what you are. So you didn't have to keep being alone, at least. I know it's not much.
it's hard to know how much to let people see.
I don't really have a choice anymore. That's
No.
easier and harder.
Yeah.
But I can see at least some of you. I see a lot of hurt and a lot of anger. I knew someone like that. Be careful. I think you're a good person. But I think that you have the chance to be very bad if you're not careful.
Iroh will probably go quiet, and probably be waterbending water in a pattern in the sand.
All right. With that, cutting back a few minutes to Kiahi running in to Tanawe's home.
Why is everyone just sitting around? We need to go now.
They're not gonna chase us, Kiahi.
That doesn't mean we shouldn't leave.
God. Oh, spirits.
Do we gotta go? Because I gotta be honest, I don't think that my Sky Bison can carry all of us. And even if he could, I'm honestly thinking of just sending him home.
Listen, Kiahi's right. They've given us time, but we should use that wisely. We should construct another boat.
I'll help, but I don't really have too much in me today.
No, that's fine, Ning. You fought hard. Pa, is there any chance you might be able to help us? I know you're good at building things.
Your father nods it, and he says, I can help make sure your boat is seaworthy and that it can carry all of you.
Thank you. I hate to go again so soon, but it's what's safest for everyone.
Just... He grabs you in a tight hug and says, just promise you'll be back.
I promise.
And, along with it, your father's big arms around you, you feel little arms around your thigh.
Oh.
She crouches down and picks up Katsuro.
Katsuro will hug you. I know you have to go.
I'm sorry, Sunbeam.
Definitely come back.
I will. I hate leaving you.
He looks like he might cry.
Oh, it's alright, baby. It's alright.
Better be.
She just sandwiches him in between her and her father and just hugs. She's being careful not to squash him.
Alright.
Your grandma and grandpa and your great-grandma are going to help your dad look after you, okay?
I need to think of a shorter name for great-grandma.
You could just call her Nana Juana.
Nana Juana. And he just wraps his arms around Yolan's neck, and Yolan gently cradles him. And Shiro walks out of the room, and he walks over to Tanawe and hugs her.
She hugs back.
And kisses her on the forehead.
She hugs back.
And
Go ahead.
And he sighs. I know you'll be back.
Yeah.
You came back for me.
I won't wait so long this time.
He smiles widely at that.
Stay safe here.
A nod.
I should help with the preparations to go.
Yolan gives Katsuro to Shiro and follows along.
Hiro lazes about without moving to help.
Tanawe grabs Hiro by the back of the shirt and says, "Come on."
I don't wanna.
You want to stay here and get killed?
I'm not gonna get killed.
Alright. You want to stay here and get conscripted?
I'm not gonna get conscripted.
Hiro,
get up or she's gonna kick your ass, says Tenzin.
No, I beat her in a fight last time.
You didn't.
I did.
I was the judge. You didn't. Also, she could beat my ass. Get up.
Tanawe looks a little pleased at that.
Hiro grumbles loudly and obnoxiously.
Tanawe,
Tenzin looks like he might be rethinking something.
Tanawe, picks Hiro up, by the back of the shirt.
No, put me.
She drops.
I'm coming.
She drops him. And then just walks out the door.
He grumbles loudly and follows her.
So, you all go down to the beach, or at least anyone who wants to.
Okay.
And there you can see Yura and Kemushi just sitting together.
Are you two alright?
Not really, but thank you for asking.
We're going to start work on the boat. Kemushi,
I'll help as much as I can, but I'm not very good at it.
you've been through a lot, Kemushi. You can help if you want to, but I'm not going to.
She's thoughtful, and she says, I do have a question for all of you. Do you want me to come with you, or should I stay here?
Oh.
No matter where I go, I'm going to be a danger to everyone around me. Just because of who I am.
I mean, I didn't think twice about... Well, I did think twice about it, but in the end I decided it was best for the former Fire Lord to stay here, because I don't think anyone's going to be coming after him, but...
I think the Fire Lord is less obvious than Kemushi.
Yes. I mean, Kemushi can't lie. She can't exactly lay low here. And...
She looks very ashamed.
No, Kemushi, that's not your fault.
Can I double check? Is Kemushi... Kemushi looks quite distinctive.
She's bald and covered in burns.
Yep. And
she has the eye tattoo.
And a tendency to shoot fireballs into the ocean when she's stressed out. None of these things are conducive to laying low, particularly.
No matter where I go, I'm going to be a danger to someone.
Well, so are we. So, maybe you should come with us.
Jackie looks really, really happy after always saying this.
We just point you at the people we want to be in danger.
Kemushi actually giggles at that, but she quickly sort of straightens her face out and says, I want that too. I definitely want to come with you guys more. I'm scared, but I do want to stay with Kiahi, but I'm also...
Kemushi.
I hate being it.
Kemushi, if you come with us, it will be dangerous. I know you're right.
I know.
I hate to admit it, but you are correct that for one so young you've been given a terrible burden, and that wherever you go danger will follow. It will follow more if you were with us, though. At the same time, we will do everything within our power to keep you safe, and I know that goes double for your sister.
It's probably convenient to have the most danger in one place.
Yeah. I'll be honest with you, Kemushi. You probably know this already, but I'm slightly biased in favor of keeping my home as safe as possible after everything I've brought down on it.
Yeah. In an in-character sense, you guys know all of my logic. In a meta sense, I just don't want to have Kemushi be too much, or because sort of the logic I'm dealing with here is, Dali, you're sort of being forced to leave two of your keystone NPCs here.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to offer you guys this as an option, and make sure there wasn't any ill will around it.
I mean, Tanoe's really sad about leaving Shiro and Katsurou behind, but it makes the most sense. And I think it also makes sense, like, if we're taking NPCs, we don't want to take too many of them, because that's a lot of people for you to play. But if we just keep it, like, if Shiro and Katsurou stay here, then that's two you don't have to play all the time. But if we take Tenzin and Kemushi, that's just two, which is, I think, manageable for you, maybe?
Yeah. Although we'll see what happens with Tenzin.
Yeah.
At the very least, Tenzin's definitely sending his bison back, but he has realized he kind of needs to be away from where he was. So this isn't just for ships.
Yeah.
But in and out of... Sorry.
Are you going to say something, Bucky?
No, the ship comes when we build it.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Bucky, were you going to say something?
No, I was just laughing.
Okay. But, sorry.
I was just going to say that after what Tanawi just said in character, Europe might kind of just to point out that I don't think Kemushi's afraid that she'll be in danger by coming with us. I think she's afraid that by coming with us, she'll endanger us.
I'm more afraid of that than I am afraid of being in more danger.
I understand that, but I still want you to understand that you will be in danger.
I'm afraid of both, but I've trained my whole life for this.
Honestly, there's going to be danger either way.
Yeah.
She nods. I'd rather not face it alone, or in a land of strangers. I'd rather face it with my sister.
Yeah, he smiles.
And just making absolutely certain, in a meta, out-of-character sense, is everyone okay with this?
Yes.
Out of character, I'm fine. In character, Tanawe's starting to look very sad and wistful.
Out of character, I'm fine.
Alright.
Cool. Yep.
Just making certain.
Mark has
Kemushi.
no strong opinions either way.
She nods, and she says, in that case, I'm gonna kind of stay out of the way of the boat, because I'm not really good at making things with my hands, so I think I'd just get in the way.
That's understandable. Perhaps you can, Perhaps you can go with, well, I think perhaps Ning isn't quite feeling up to helping because she tired herself out quite a lot during the fight. Perhaps you could help her and anyone else gather up provisions. I think
I've noticed Ning meditates.
She does, yes. Why? Is that something you do?
Yeah, I have to. Because one of my chakras is forced open, I have to make sure nothing gets stuck around it.
Yes, that makes sense. I find it can help be calming. Get yourself centered when the emotions start to overtake you.
Me too. Though I don't always. And she sort of glances at Yura.
Iroh will kind of grin back. The fireballs are kind of awesome.
So, who would like to roll for boat making?
Sure.
Well,
Time to
here,
make Boaty McBoat Face Part 2.
Hero obviously has no choice.
I heard that
Yep.
there is actually a submarine called Boaty McBoatface now.
Yeah.
Yes, there is.
It's called Submarine McSubface.
Oh my god.
No, its actual
wasn't
name is Bodie
Oh, yeah, it is
McBoatface.
Bodie.
I love that they
No,
finally
it
gave
was
that
the- it
name to
was the-
something that isn't a boat.
Yeah.
No, it was the boat that they voted on saying that it won the vote that it was going to be Boaty McBoatface, but it's
But instead they named it
it's
the
the-
David
it's the-
Attenborough.
yeah, it's the David Attenborough,
Yeah, I know.
but it's the kind of autonomous vehicle that they send out from the boat to do stuff.
It's called Boaty
They
McBoatface.
agreed that they would call that
Good.
Boaty McBoatface.
I approve.
Alright, what are we rolling?
That's
Yep.
a good question. I'd say probably
Proficiency.
yeah, that feels the most right.
Okay, get ready. I have a big fat 4 in this.
Oh,
Hero-
by the way, can someone link the rolls room, please?
Yeah, I've just realized I forgot to open it. I'll link it in just a moment.
Tanawe is no
Heroes-
help. Oh, wow. Depleted uranium? Good. Yura,
Oh my
Yura
God.
is much help.
What is
I-
depleted uranium? What?
That is Yura's
It's
nickname.
Nora.
Oh, okay.
I need a-
Hero.
Get it? Because you're
Ah,
Yeah,
Get it?
I
Get
get
it?
it.
Get it?
Hero is being grumpy and lazy, and not helping much.
Tanawe, I'm going to say, is distracted.
Fair.
I think I've got a +5. My code's doing a weird thing, so I've got to check on
The
that.
lithium?
But
Fair.
21.
Good.
Did you say
All right.
proficiency?
Yes.
Yes.
Now here's the thing. I have 10 base and then a bunch of bonuses because I'm building something.
All right.
But Mark has no one has brought Mark out of a stupor to
I was going to actually say, Hatter, you were AFK, but if you weren't, I was going to say that, Tanawe would have grabbed Mark.
Oh, okay.
So Maku got dragged out with everyone else.
Still writing on a scroll, and by the time they get to wherever they're going, she's like, "Wait, what are we doing here?"
Oh my
I'll allow you to have grabbed your scrolls on the way out.
Okay.
And what someone explains to you that you're making a boat. So,
Oh, another one?
yep.
We're going to make
She actually
going to make one better than the first. We're in a bit less of a hurry this time.
there's a slight glimmer in her eyes as she pulls out one of the scrolls she's been working on. And she goes through several like not that foot, not that one. Oh, here it goes, and she lays out like basically the equivalent of like a battleship.
Oh my. You've been thinking about this.
Kemushi says, I don't think we have time for that, but we probably at least have time to put together a boat that has like a sleeping quarter and stuff. A boat that's comfortable for all of us.
Last time we built a boat, we just had to get off the island. We just had to get out to sea in a hurry. This time we can probably make it to last a bit longer. The battleship modifications, they might need to come later.
It's probably best if you don't get an air nomad mad enough to burn it. I don't even know how you did that.
God.
She looks around. What supplies do I have?
I've said that the island is fairly forested, although Tanawe would know which trees to avoid,
Yes.
just because they're spiritually sacred and whatever.
Yes.
Okay, so basically she has all the wood she wants.
Just like,
Yeah, more or less.
Don't cut down the sun
Sweet.
trees.
And because of how well they rolled, both Yura and Kiahi have previous experience building boats.
What?
That kind of makes sense.
Well, yeah, no, that does make sense. But Mark rolled a 20 with a plus 15. She has a plus 15 and she only rolled a 20.
Well, damn.
Better,
I mean,
your idea works better in theory than practice.
I mean, I can.
But the three of you are still able to do. Oh, yes.
I was gonna say, I mean, I can give you a guiding hand if you want.
I
Yes,
would
you
like
can.
that, thank you.
Okay. So we roll that with a
Yay.
+5.
Watch me get a 21. No,
31.
31.
Okay, you start out with an idea that's much too big to accomplish in any timely manner, but Tanawe's like, let's bring it down a notch, okay? Come on, let's bring it back.
Okay, so who knows like the classic like Wayfinder, Pathfinder boats from like
Moana.
Moana and the Pacific Islands and whatnot?
Yes.
Basically, I'm making one of those.
Ooh.
Hmm.
Double
excellent.
those are cool.
So basically, like a big wide platform with the two like floating pieces, like canoe-esque things on the sides.
Mhm.
A little like hut for like a small hut, just enough for us to lay down in, and then a side canoe thing to keep it all level with the sail. Also, because I know it doesn't fit with the aesthetic, or it probably doesn't even fit on the ship actually. But she really, really wants to implement her paddle thing.
Paddle thing?
She basically came up with this idea of just people pulling rope, like a circle of rope to pull like 2 giant pieces of
I'll
wood
say
that
that
were paddles
that's
in the back
what
of the boat.
Tanawe convinced you not to do.
Yeah, she built like this basic structure, and she just starts throwing more stuff on it. Like, ooh, he put this.
She's kind of
and
like,
this,
Into now
she
this.
basically, Tanoe points out we have 2 waterbenders. We can add things to make steering and rowing easier later, but for now, just focus on building
And
the
you'll
ship.
have an airbender.
And an airbender, yeah.
Yeah.
We have airbenders for the sails and waterbenders for the steering, so we're good.
So, with 2 people with good practical knowledge, with Mach with her insane genius, and with Tanawe basically holding Mach by the back of the neck and saying, no, this way.
she does appear. She does wants like the paddle thing is like, no, that's too much. She also wants to put like some kind of pipe system near the sails.
Tanoe
So
dials her
that,
back on that as well.
Yeah, no, but like it's designed to like, you know, when they blow air into the sails, the air will also go underneath the boat and cause it to go even faster.
Will Tanawe pull her back on that one, too?
Yes.
Yeah, I figured, but still.
That would end up actually just tipping the boat.
No, not like
So,
directly underneath it, like an air powered motorboat.
I know. That would
Oh,
probably end
hovercraft.
up fixing it.
how you end up getting all that together, and at this point, it is basically you work until about midnight before you've got the ship all built,
Oh, and
and everyone is freaking exhausted.
I was going to say Yolan was helping as well, wasn't he?
Yes. And by the time the ship is done, Yolan looks very pleased, but he does hug you and say, I'm going to go back to bed with your mother.
Yes, do that. Thank you, Pa.
And he
Yeah.
kisses you on the forehead.
She hugs.
Yeah, he has fallen asleep on the beach.
Oh, Kyahi. Tanoe.
And Kemushi is asleep as well.
Did Kemushi help with the boat making?
No,
she gonna stay
Kemushi-
that way.
By her own admission, is pretty bad at that. Although eventually Tenzin did show up and help a bit, like pointing out, oh hey, this sail could be more designed to catch the air better, and yada yada yada.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Ellen.
Could Ning and Kemushi coordinate the gathering of supplies?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, yeah. That's
Kemushi would be happy to help Ning with that.
yes. So that's what they were doing.
Oh, if we have supplies, Mark will take very special attention that any extra supplies we have, she will also put on the boat.
That makes sense.
Just for later, you know.
I mean,
Because she keeps ending up like, I want to build this great thing, and I got nothing.
oh right. You mean other than foods and stuff?
Yeah, no,
Oh, okay.
well, also, you know,
Parts.
yeah, but like, you know, oh, we got an extra plank of wood. That's going on the ship.
What's
later.
left over from making
Yeah.
the boat. Got it now.
Yeah.
So is
Also, Smarty, you didn't roll for this, but I'm going to say that Lily was a decent help as well, since
Lily
coming
wasn't
from the
even
water
there.
tribes.
She's still with Iroh.
Oh, right, she's hanging out with Iroh.
She's been
Sorry,
with
I
Iroh
forgot
this
about
whole
that.
time.
Herp derp.
No, it's fine.
Yeah, you can spend the night in Iroh's house. Iroh is perfectly happy with that. Hero's dad is irate. God damn it, we barely have room for the 2 of us. And Iroh's just like, it's temperate outside.
good.
Then you sleep outside. My bones are old, and so are Lily's.
We're
some
all, what's your
respect.
excuse?
Have
And
some
eventually,
respect, you whippersnapper.
Hideyoshi just and storms out.
They were just
Hero
having a grand old time, just laughing and having tea and reminiscing about the past.
Hiro was actually gonna when he's done working on the boat with the others, he was actually gonna go see his dad. So.
Oh, okay. That'll happen after sundown, and you go out and you find your dad actually asleep outside of the sort of slummy apartmentoid building.
There's just elderly laughter coming from inside.
Hiro looks confused, stares at him, nudges him slightly with his foot.
Oh, Hiro. Hey.
Hi. Is everything
I'm out
okay?
here. Iroh's hanging out with his old girlfriend or whatever.
Huh. Okay.
And the apartment's barely big enough for the two of us.
I mean, you get used to it, I suppose. I don't know. I mean,
I hope so. But hey, how are you, kiddo?
leaving soon.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
He scooches over and pats the ground next to him.
Yeah, that bang earlier was this kid that was chasing us. You remember. And
Yeah.
We managed to negotiate a bit, and she and that one dude agreed to give us some extra time, but we better get going, so.
Alright. And he hugs Hiro. You stay safe, kiddo.
Yeah, I will.
You may be the Avatar and the hope and the conduits between humans and spirits and yada yada yada, but you're still my hero. My little hero.
Hiro looks very uncomfortable because, teenage boy, parent gushing over him and embarrassing him.
He sighs and then says, "Did you know they have no tobacco on this island?"
No, I did not.
I found that out.
Well,
I have such a headache, kiddo.
Well, I mean, Mom was always nagging you to quit.
He laughs, but it's just...
It's a sad laugh.
Yeah. Damn it, smoking is good for you.
Why do you say that, Dad?
Nobody said otherwise, and makes me feel better. I think
you...
a doctor told me that.
It makes you cough all the time, Dad. Like, real bad.
He thinks about this. You know that doctor that worked for the... You know that doctor who worked with the salesman may not have been completely on the level?
Maybe. Yeah, Hiro has a slight no-duh look on his face, but he doesn't say this, and he's just like, yeah, maybe.
Maybe I can smoke some of that corn.
Maybe just quit. How about that?
I guess there's a lot of changes right now.
Yeah.
But the world never stays the same, huh?
I wish it did.
If it did, you never would have existed, kiddo. Remember, you're the Avatar. You're the symbol of change in the world.
But the Avatar had always stayed the same before. It's always, water,
What?
earth. No, it's always water, earth, fire, air. It always goes in that order, and it's always one person. But no, this time it's me, and it's two people, and I want it to be normal again.
He looks at Hiro and he says, "You say that, but before Avatar Kyoshi, no Avatar had ever lived longer than 100 years. Before Avatar Roku, no Avatar had ever been best friends with a Fire Lord."
Yeah, but those things always stayed the same that I said.
Yeah, but only after the Avatar was made in the first place. I don't know the full history of it, and there's a bunch of conflicting legends and whatever, but from what I've read and heard in the stories from way back when the Avatar first came into being, the world was full of spirits and stuff, and that was the way it had always been until one day it wasn't. Things are until they aren't.
Hiro is grump, but he doesn't say anything.
Hiro. Hideyoshi takes off his glasses. He doesn't have glasses. Hideyoshi has been chewing on his pipe, which has nothing left in it.
I mean, yeah, fair.
And he takes it out and sort of polishes it a bit, and he says, "I won't say it's not different, but whatever the circumstances are, however terrifying and strange and new and confusing they are, the circumstances made you, and they made you what you are, and I love who you are. I hope you know that. I know I wasn't home to say it a lot, and I was always working hard and trying to do things so you'd know that I love you, and I love who you are and what you are, and even though it's a complicated, weird world, I'm glad it happened the way it did, so you could be what you are, because I wouldn't have you any other way."
Hiro sighs heavily, and he goes, "But I just want it to be like it was before."
Would that make the Avatar then?
What was that?
Would that make the Avatar then, he says?
I don't know.
Good link, Dave. And also, Smarty says, "Meanwhile, on the other side of the door, amongst laughter, so instead of 20 minutes at 200, you tried to do it for 2 minutes at 2,000? Says the lady who tried to convince me to cook with lightning." More laughter.
Oh my god.
And he says, "Look, it's all terrifying and weird. I mean, and sometimes it's awful. I mean, look at me. I was an investment banker and now I'm here. But no matter how much we want to, we can't just magically make things go back to the way they were before. No matter how hard we wish for it, or think about it, or dream of it, or hope for it. It just isn't going to happen.
I know, but you're right.
And as Iroh has told me again and again and again and again and again and again and
I get the
again,
idea, Dad.
complaining about it isn't going to fix anything.
Yeah.
I personally disagree. I think it depends a lot on who you complain to about it, but complaining to someone who objectively can't fix it hasn't done me any favors yet.
I guess so.
I mean, at best, it's just gotten me thrown out of the house. Well, he's right, it is temperate out here.
You know, I guess you're kind of right, because when I complained to Tanawe and said that I didn't want to, you know, work on the boat and stuff, I ended up working on it anyways, so...
Yeah, well, that's women for you.
Hiro looks uncomfortable.
He sighs and just wraps his arm around you. You'll do good, Kanda.
I know I will.
There you go, that's my hero.
I just wanted to, you know, let you know that we're gonna be going soon. We built the boat and stuff, so...
Thank you. I know you'll do well. And come back and visit your old man sometime. I tell ya, I'll be running this place before too long, eh?
I'm not sure about that, but
Yeah,
you can
me
try.
neither.
You can try.
But, god damn it, my grandfather's grandfather pulled himself up by his bootstraps, and I can do the same.
Yeah.
I don't know how he did that, but I know he did.
Tanawe, please don't try.
Smarty says Hero's dad is gonna Scrooge McDuck it up.
Oh my god. We're gonna come back and he's just like converted another. He's bought another house, dug it to like 50 feet down, just filled it with yuans.
Oh my god.
But, anything else anyone would like to do before everyone sleeps?
Yeah, he is already asleep.
I was gonna say, did Kemushi come back and sleep on the beach, or did she just fall asleep? Considering she was helping Ning gather that stuff, did she fall asleep in the house?
Eventually, after helping Ning gather the stuff, Kemushi just started to drift off. And knowing Ning, I assume Ning just carried her back to somewhere soft.
Yep.
Tanawe at the beach picks up sleeping Kiahi and carries her back.
Kemushi, but yeah.
No, Kiahi fell asleep on the beach.
No, Kiahi fell asleep on the beach.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
I was just making sure that Kemushi was taken care of as well.
Okay.
Puts her in bed next to Kemushi.
Kemushi, in her sleep, just nuzzles up to Kiahi.
I was about to say Kiahi is the same thing.
Oh.
Aw.
Tanawe looks like her heart is going to break, and goes and crawls into bed with Shiro and Katsurou.
Hiro eventually returns to the house after visiting with his dad, and he just flops somewhere.
Probably on a couch or something.
Yeah.
Next morning, anyone who wakes up at sunrise is rather tired, and Yolan actually decides not to.
Fair. Tanoe still does, just because she can't quite break that habit. But she doesn't wake up Katsuro, and Shiro just kind of slips out of bed without waking them and goes to see.
The other family members who wake at sunrise are awake, though.
She'll join them in doing their firebending forms.
Yep.
She'll also
Hiro grumpily, aggressively tries to stay asleep on the couch.
She doesn't try to wake him. Is Yura doing firebending forms this morning? Or is Yura also getting caught up on sleep?
Yura's also getting caught up in sleep.
Boogie.
And Kemushi definitely is. Although eventually, I'll say she wakes up about midway through the forms, and she watches with rather rapt attention.
Oh, good morning, Kemushi. I'm sorry, did we wake you?
No, I just think that this is interesting.
You're welcome to join in if you'd like.
I am Alright. She looks anxious and says, "Training makes me nervous."
You don't have to think of this as training. They're exercises. Firebending isn't just about attacking, it's also about being in touch with your inner chi.
That makes sense.
The way we do firebending, it's more about life than it is about fighting.
Most of my firebending lessons came from Hotaru.
Yes.
And a few from Cho. I learned a little bit on the Roku Island, but that was mostly about combustion bending. And that's a part of firebending, but it's like a little circle inside a big one.
Yes. I feel if my previous experience is anything to go by, the firebending you've been taught is fairly centered on aggression, and aggression does...
Yes, but it's not quite the same as Fire Nation firebending. It was different. It was aggressive, not because that's the way it had to be, but because that's the way it was in Hotaru's hands.
Yes.
Her muscles were always tense.
I think I understand. That's... always being tense. It means you're always on your guard, but it's unhealthy for you in the long term. But I suppose you already know that.
Yeah. She never told me why. She said she would when I was older, but I haven't seen her since she sent me to the island.
She's the leader of a very divisive faction.
Yeah?
It's...
But she said it was more than that.
Perhaps something happened that gave her reason to be afraid. So many times anger does stem from fear.
Daichi said that there was something she was afraid of, but he didn't tell me either.
Well, we're going to be finding out more, or at least we're going to be trying to find out more about your grandmother. Maybe we'll find out more about your mother as we go.
I'd love to know more about her.
About Jingyi or about Hotaru?
Jingyi.
Hmm.
I guess Hotaru too, just so I can
Understand?
understand. Yeah,
I feel as though
just so I can understand.
I feel as though it is important to understand those that you come up against. Not necessarily to empathize with them, but to understand their motivations, better predict them, better...
I know there was always fear, but I don't know if it was mine or hers.
It could well have been both. It does sound like you had reason to be afraid. Tanawe is still doing the firebending forms while talking.
Kemushi is trying to mimic and is doing a decent job of it. And she nods and she says, I am afraid of her.
That's completely reasonable. She caused you a lot of pain. She was scary to you. She hurt you.
She nods. I wish I'd known either of my grandmothers. I wonder if they would have protected us.
I genuinely don't know, Kemushi. I don't know what either of those women were like.
I know you don't. I just...
No, I know. I realize you weren't asking me. You may need to be prepared for the fact that we may find out good things about Jingyi. We may find out bad. As of right now, I don't know whether Jingyi was a good woman or a bad woman or somewhere in between.
I know she was somewhere in between. Because everyone is.
Some people list farther one way than the other, though.
Yeah, that's true.
You may not like what you find out about your grandmother. You need to be prepared for that.
She takes a deep breath and sighs. I don't want that to be true, but I know that it is.
You know, accepting the truth of things, it's a very difficult thing to do. It's really impressive that
I don't have a choice.
I realize that, but I still find it impressive that you've mastered it at such a young age.
She sort of gives you a wry, sad smile, and she says, I had to.
You don't take compliments well, do you, child?
No, I don't.
I'll bear that in mind.
To me, it doesn't feel like there's a lot worth complimenting that wasn't forced on me.
Well, that's just complete nonsense. What about your empathy, your compassion? Was that forced on you?
Guess that's one good thing.
Damn right.
Normally, people compliment me on how good I am at firebending, or how good I am at seeing things, and
Tanawe stops.
those are things...
She kind of comes to the end of one of her forms. Like, the forms haven't ended, but she stops. She just kind of brings herself down, brings her arms down. Kemushi, you've met my son.
Yeah.
The people who took him from me only wanted him because of his firebending potential.
I sort of know what that's like. Not exactly, but sort of.
So anyone who only sees importance in bending can go straight to the Fog of Lost Souls.
She just she goes through a mix of emotions, but eventually it lands on laughing a bit. It wasn't exactly like that, but it was similar.
You're more than the fire that comes out of you. You're the fire within yourself.
I hope it doesn't burn people.
Everyone risks getting burned, literally or metaphorically. Just have to do your best to minimize the damage. And I believe you have been.
Try.
You do. It shows.
She smiles at that.
Now, can I... She comes forward to kind of try and correct Kemushi's form, but, waits for permission to move her into the right way.
Kemushi nods. Just don't squeeze too hard.
Of course not. She just very gently guides her arms into, like, a more circular position and makes sure her weight is distributed in, over one leg and the other. And she just kind of helps her through the form like that.
Kemushi nods and she says, just, if you always warn me before touching me and don't grip me too tightly, I think it'll be okay.
Absolutely. After a while, Tanawe stops fussing over Kemushi's form and goes back to her own form.
Alright. Anyone else want to do anything this morning? Yeah, Mock's just asleep face down. Either on the boat or on her drawings.
What had happened was she had laid out her scrolls again to start sketching and writing things down, and then in the middle of it, she just face planted to the deck and fell asleep. So she's just kind of like face down, still slightly in this like a kneed position, and it's just.
You realise that when she wakes up, we're going to peel the scroll off her face, and the mirror image of what was on the scroll is going to be on the side of her face.
Yep.
I was going to say it was going to end up looking like a mustache, but okay.
That works too.
I mean, that'll be part of it. After a while, when everyone's awake, does everyone gather together? Someone will have to go get Aunt Lily.
I mean, I'm at the beach now. I'm fishing.
Okay, then you see a boat that was very not there before. A actually quite well constructed wooden boat with very nice sails.
I mean, yeah, when she comes out in the morning, she's like, sees the boat, like, huh. And as she gets closer to the boat, she just sees Mac inside it and goes, ah, that's why.
And it seems like a decent bet that this is what you're going to leave in, since you were there. I think you were there when Toph basically told you guys, yeah, you're going to have to get out of these islands.
Yeah.
Just note that I did want to design this boat big enough to fit all of us at least somewhat comfortably.
Yes, and I've taken that into account, and you were able to do so.
Yay.
It's not going to be the most pleasant thing, but you can fit in comfortably.
I don't want us literally like holding on to each other to keep us from falling into the water.
Yep.
So she's fishing, but she's doing it in a very sort of unique water-bending way. Well, she doesn't have a rod or a net or anything. She's taken her water tribe coat off, and she just has sort of like normal clothes underneath, hanging that up on a branch, and she's just standing in the water. And whenever a fish comes close, she just bends it out the water.
Excellent. Best way to fish ever.
Ning will be doing earthbending warm up and a bit of just getting ready for the day with earthbending because she's leaving for the sea. So.
All right, that makes sense. You can take some dirt with you, as far as I'm concerned.
She probably will.
Eventually, you all can get set up at the ship unless there's anything else anyone wants to do.
Daddy's retrieving food, so.
Oh yes, good point. Well, we'll probably be dinking around near the ship until she gets back. So we can at least congregate there.
Do we have an idea of where we're going?
Good question.
From what I understood, sorry.
I was about to say, I think we were talking about going to the former air temple of Jingyi.
Yeah, that.
Again, that was before shit hit the fan. So.
At the very least, it's a nearby landmark, but that doesn't mean you have to go there.
Yeah.
Hiro's in support of that, but he's, not married to it. If anyone else has a better idea, he'll accept that.
At any rate, Tenzin is sitting at the top of the mast and just watching you all chat about it. Well, one way or another, I'm going with you, because I kind of sent my bison back. Don't worry, if you get sick of me, you don't have to get me to stick around forever. I just kind of had to move on, you know?
That's fair. Oh, wait,
we're happy to have you.
You don't know what I'm saying yet.
He does look a little confused and say...
Nalwe translates.
I was going to say Hiro does, but yeah.
Thank you. I'm going to try to learn, and he smiles a little at Hiro. Everyone's congregated and chatting on the beach. Just saying that for Dali's sake.
Oh, thank you.
Since she's back.
Thank you. Nalwe looks consideringly at Tenzin and says, I mean, have you considered, not that I'm sending you there, but have you considered the Central Air Temple?
He cringes and says, I know that a lot of it was propaganda, but I've heard a lot of bad stuff about it.
No, I understand that, and
the only stuff I really completely believe is what
Sonam said?
Actually, yeah, that. And I don't think I can share, all of it, but...
No, and believe me, I understand from what I've picked up that Sonam has every reason to hate the Central Air Temple. I do understand that, but at the same time...
Yeah, that's kind of why she was in charge of the outcasts, because not like she was one, they were actually really happy to have a Central Air Temple defectee, but because she was like a cautionary tale... I really don't like a lot of the elders.
No, I understand that. I understand that no matter where you go, there are going to be problems. I don't believe in holding one bad experience. Anyway.
That's true. I gotta think about it.
No,
I
understand. In Tenzin, I would never send you there by yourself. I haven't actually mentioned this to the rest of you yet, but perhaps at some point we might be able to go there. They might have information about Jingyi that other air temples may be less thrilled to share.
Yeah, I could see that.
And I have a friend there.
They're all mavericky and shit. And, oh, you got a friend there?
Yes.
Cool.
Nima. She was originally from the Empire of Balance, actually, but she left, and she tried to go Well, her lineage was from the Northern Air Temple. I believe her father was from there, or her grandfather, and she tried to go back there, but she was turned away because she was a woman, and that temple was all male. So she wasn't terribly taken with air nomad lifestyle after that. She did the nomad.
Yeah, I get that.
She did the nomad thing instead. Traveled around.
I think I'm gonna go with that, at least for a little while I figure shit out, you know?
I find that traveling is very good for discovering yourself.
It's less discovering me and more discovering if anywhere wants me.
I understand that. And
I mean,
I have
we
a
want
decent
you.
handle on it. That's cool. That.
yes,
How hard is he
Thanks,
blushing?
Hiro. Yeah, he's blushing a bit.
Hiro is correct. We are very happy to have you.
You taught me to fly, man.
Well, yeah, that's another part of it. I mean, shit, you're the Avatar. You need some airbending lessons.
He really does.
I'm fine at airbending.
Yeah, but you could be better.
Hiro looks a bit unhappy.
There's always
Dude, anyone can be better.
There's always room for improvement, Hiro. You've never really had a full-time airbending teacher, have you?
I had a Sifu where I went there and I told them, you know, since fire and air are so related, I wanted to study them for a while, and then and he slowly turns slightly more and more red as he goes on with this, and he goes, and one of them was really smart, so he picked up on
He caught you airbending.
the reason. No.
Alright, so he picked up on you being the Avatar. Because he was really smart and intuitive.
And definitely didn't catch you airbending.
Nope.
Is that...
That's Tenzin.
Did he say that?
Yes.
Good.
I'm gonna guess that Kemushi and Kyahi can see right through this.
Well, yeah, duh.
And Hiro goes, I mean, I know better than that. So of course not.
I mean, it's certainly not as though you would airbend during a firebending duel.
Hiro turns red and he goes, you weren't supposed to see that.
We need to learn from
Yeah.
Kyahi.
But you say that you had a Sifu before.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't get to spend way too much time with him because there was
Well,
only
there you go. You just spending more time with a teacher.
there was only so long he could convince them to keep me without, you know, giving me away, and I insisted we don't give me away, so...
Yes.
So I can be your teacher now, and Tenzin just drifts down in that airbender-y way.
Good.
I mean, I don't think you'd be averse to spending more time with Tenzin, would you, Hiro?
Like I said, I like him. He taught me how to fly.
There you go.
Yeah, I did. And flying, you know, the flying fucking rules.
It does. I mean, not so much when, you know, when Ozai's shooting at you, but, I mean, otherwise.
Ozai shot at you?
With lightning, yeah.
We have not endeared ourselves to the Fire Royals.
No, that makes perfect sense, but
They took my
spirits.
balloon.
They did indeed take Mark's balloon. I'm sorry about that.
Don't remind Morrow of that, Mock. He's still a bit grumpy that you tried to get him to take it, even though he was already carrying you both.
I wish we'd had a better chance to destroy it before we left. They
Yeah.
won't be able to reverse engineer it.
I've already made improvements.
I have no doubt.
Mark is finally awake at this point.
No, she was sleep talking.
She was like half awake when she was like, they took
They
my
took my
balloon. And now she's
balloon.
awake.
Good morning, Mac.
They took my balloon.
Is it morning? I thought it was night.
It was night, and then it turned into morning. That happens sometimes.
She looks around and scrolls over her head, over her face.
Tanoe just reaches forward and slowly peels the scroll off her face.
Oh, it is morning.
There we go. Anyway, Tenzin, you... about, bad experiences. And, you know, how you've heard bad things about the Central Air Temple, and I understand that,
I've heard bad things about one real specific part of the Central Air Temple.
Really?
What's that?
Well, two specific parts.
Are you able to share?
You know, it involved a real shithead and some image control issues.
Are we talking about Norbu?
Okay, so you know, yeah, it involved Norbu, who, I'm not, like, telling you the whole story, but let's
No.
just say he's a real bag of dicks.
Yes, I had gathered that much. I am very much hoping
And-
that Nina has not come into contact with him.
He's also, like, I've never met the guy. I don't want to meet the guy.
No.
But from what
I'd like to meet him.
Sonam...
Mostly because I'd like to firebend him into the sky, but that's besides the point.
From what Sonam told me, he's, like, real charismatic. One of the few older air nomads, like, classic-style ones to join the Central Air Temple. He's a real legitimizing force among them. And so they didn't want to...
And yet we realize now that he probably had ulterior motives for joining.
Yeah, that's, yeah. But he's also, like, one of the things that makes them look real legit and stuff, and plus they just don't want to look bad in general, and...
So they're keeping
So-
him covered up.
Yeah, Sonam got a real face full of shit in that regard.
Tanoe is breathing smoke from her nose again.
I like the language of this nomadic monk.
Yes.
By the way.
Dicks.
Real face full of shit.
Bag of dicks.
I just imagine a dude wearing like a Shaolin monk robe, like, you know, hands in his sleeves, and he's meditating, and he's just like,
He is
Yes.
a bag of dicks.
Just
He's a
starts
bag of dicks.
swearing like a sailor.
yes. Swearing's good for the soul.
Kind of is.
If a bag of dicks
It is.
falls in the forest and nobody's around...
I had simply meant to say, Tenzin, that there may be bad experiences out here. My first time travelling away from Interasu, well, she is wearing her Sun Warrior garb again, so her midriff is exposed. She just gestures to the ugly scar running from her navel down her abdomen.
Yeah, that looks like some shit.
And it shook me very badly. I lost the ability to firebend for a whole month, because my worldview was so shaken. But it took time, a lot of time. But traveling in the end has been good for me. Led me to these people, led me back to my fiance and my son.
Mark is in the background waving furiously.
Hiro looks a bit sheepish and he goes, sorry about how that went, by the way. I know it was supposed to go better.
You mean Shiro and Katsurou?
Yeah,
It was... Thank you, Hiro. I appreciate the apology. I know it wasn't easy for you and Kiahi to be in that situation, and I probably shouldn't have sent you both in alone.
I just thought, he was gonna tell, and I was like, well, what if this is our only chance?
No, I understand. The situation being what it was. Anyway, it's in the past now. The important thing is that Katsurou is safe.
Tenzin looks thoughtful, and he says, Sonam lost her bending, too, for a while.
Yes.
She said she felt too heavy.
Yes, actually.
Like the air was gone.
I mean, air is the element of freedom, and what happened to her, I can't imagine feeling more trapped.
Yeah, and that was another reason she really got in the shit, because, there's no such thing as an air nomad that can't airbend.
Yes. It seems that the Central Air Temple has its own issues to work out, as well as the traditional air temples.
I mean, bear in mind, I'm hearing about all these issues from people who really don't like that place.
I understand.
But I still trust at least one of those people.
Tenzin, even the best of places will have problems with it.
Yeah. Kiahi says, I had to completely relearn. And Kemushi actually looks at you and looks very impressed. Yeah, that's true. I guess in all those cases, muscle memory probably helped. But that's not all that bending is.
No, it's a way of life. It's a way of thinking.
Hiro looks, fidgets a bit, and he goes, the time my worldview changed, I went into the Avatar state.
Yes, Hiro, that's because you're special.
Hiro grins.
Tenzin looks at Hiro, then looks at Yura, then says, well, how's that work?
It was complicated.
Yeah, I mean...
Mark pulls out one of the older scrolls and goes,
oh my God.
The recorded dialogue was, and then she begins to scream.
Oh my God.
Yes, thank you, Mark. Yes, Yura went into a...
Paraphrasing, of course.
Of course. Yura went into a... She kind of glances at Yura and is like, this isn't really my place to say. And it's like, it seems that when one avatar goes into the avatar state, it has an effect on the other avatar.
Hiro looks uncomfortable and he goes, as for me, I almost killed my mom.
You were in the avatar state. Your primary concern at that point was survival, and your mother presented a threat to that. Not that that makes it any less traumatic for you, of course. But...
I can understand going through that.
It was just...
something like it.
So
and
mad
that's
at her.
Kemushi speaking.
It was just so mad too. It's weird. Like in that moment, and then he just stops talking.
Kemushi looks uncomfortable and says, "I know what it's like to hurt someone that you don't necessarily, or to do more than you necessarily mean to." In a moment of a lot of emotion.
Kiahi is torn because she wants to go and give Hiro a hug. At the same time, she wants to hug Kemushi. So she's just like looking back and forth at them really fast.
Kemushi is near you and gently pushes you towards Hiro.
Hiro is oblivious, and then he gets hugged, and he goes,
Tanawe very gently reaches out and holds out her hand to Kemushi.
Kemushi will take it and squeeze it quite tightly.
She squeezes...
And you can feel that her hands are quite bony.
She
baby.
just almost she holds back a cringe because she doesn't want to make Kemushi self-conscious, but then she grips tightly back, then pulls Kemushi over to Kiahi and just kind of inserts her into the hug as well.
Not used to group hugs.
Well, you're going to have to get used to sharing Kiahi. She has a sister now.
What do you mean share?
You'll learn.
She means that you're attracted to my sister.
Okay.
Hero
Boom
turns.
shakalaka.
Hero turns bright red.
Well,
Mark just looks up and goes, didn't we already know this?
we did, but we were
Okay.
skirting around the obvious. Until someone had to go and ask around the person who has to tell the truth.
Mark actually starts looking at everyone to see how they're just looking for a skirt.
Oh my god.
No. No.
Not finding it, she goes back to her scrolls.
I mean, technically Tanoe is wearing a skirt, but anyway.
I'm sorry, I'm looking for a GIF for what Digits is doing right now.
Is it face palming?
Oh boy.
That is an option, but actually, when Kemushi says that, Digits smirks down at Hiro and does this.
Hold on. I need to...
Oh
With
my.
the face too? With the face too?
Yeah, sure, why not?
Hero urgently swats at Digits. And he goes,
I love how that isn't a GIF that repeats after like half a second, but it goes on for like 3 seconds before it stops.
And Hero goes, I have to go iron, and he walks away.
No, you don't.
Tanoe gives Digits a stern look. Monkey, stop being lewd.
Mark looks around the boat.
Yeah, he just kind of looks up at what Digit's doing, just kind of bats him a bit, and then goes and runs after
Hero?
Actually, she'll take Digits, hand him to Kemushi, and then run after Hiro.
Kemushi blinks with surprise and says, "It's been a while since I saw you."
You knew Digits?
And she... Yeah. I mean, he was... back in the Empire of Balance, we had... well, sort of. There was a training program that once... When Kiahi...
When she lost her hearing?
When I broke Cho's ears, there were a bunch of different monkeys being trained. I couldn't see Cho then, but I did see the monkeys sometimes. I didn't know which one she picked, but Digits stopped being around after she and Daichi left, so it seemed like a safe bet. Digits was a lot littler then.
And possibly a lot more innocent. Well, congratulations, you now have a lewd tiger monkey.
It's not so bad.
Digits, you behave yourself.
I'm grateful to him.
Digits, you behave yourself around this
great.
young lady.
I already know about it.
All the same.
And I'm grateful to him for taking care of my sister.
Yes. I suppose we do owe him a debt of gratitude for that.
And she will be sitting down, puts Digits in her lap, and starts scratching him behind the ears, and he purrs.
Listen, it looks like we're all set to go. I mean, other than whatever's going on over there, she jerks a thumb in the direction of Hiro and Kiahi. I would like to spend whatever time we have left before we have to leave with my family. Would someone be able to come and get me when it's time to go?
Not me, but... And Tenzin says, I can do that.
Do it.
As long as someone does. Obviously, I'd rather you not leave without me.
That makes sense.
Spirits know what will happen to Hiro if we do.
Hard to say. I don't think it'd be good, though.
Right. Stay out of trouble. She's going to turn and...
We probably won't, but I think you'll be back before we find any new stuff.
She just waves behind her and heads off back home to spend whatever remaining time she has with Shiro and Katsurou and her family, but she's very much, I miss these ones.
And is there anything, Hiro and Kiahi?
Hiro's just wandering, like pacing back and forth, like trying to get some excess energy out of his body because he's like very anxious right now.
Hiro?
Yeah.
Are you okay?
Yeah.
I'm sorry for what happened with Digits.
It's fine. I'm fine. Everything's fine. Why do you think I'm not fine?
Because I can see your aura, and that's not consistent of what you're saying.
Well, maybe you've just never seen this aura before, and maybe this is how I express my fineness.
No, I've seen that aura before, and that was back when we were walking to, fuck, I forgot their name, Shimada's house.
Yeah.
What were we doing then? Can you remind me?
I asked if you liked me, and then started talking about something, and then you got like that and said we probably shouldn't be talking about that.
No, I remember now. You tried to give me the talk, which I've already had the talk. It's fine.
You have, it's the same aura as then.
It's fine. Everything's fine.
Hiro,
Yeah?
Never mind. And she just starts walking off.
No, what's up? Are you okay? 'Cause like I'm fine, but if you're not fine, then I want to help you.
She's just looking down at the ground and is just fidgeting like mad.
I believe at this point, Kiss the Girl begins to play.
So what's on your mind?
I really like you.
Aww.
Hey, no, come back. You can't just leave after. Okay.
There's just a trail of dust in the direction that Kiahi is running.
Is it the same shape as her?
Yes.
A Kiahi-shaped cloud of dust. And Hiro chases after her. I mean, I like you too. It's, Kemushi was right.
This does nothing because she can't hear him.
And Kemushi has digits.
Yes.
And
However, Tenzin does hear him.
ooh,
Oh, God. This is why we need polyamory.
yes, very much so.
Yeah.
They need to sit down and talk.
Yes. Hiro's like, I can like two people at once.
And I do, and it's very confusing.
Because I've never liked boys before. I was never allowed to like boys. because my mom would have killed me if I liked boys. And
I
I just
know
made
the
this very
deal.
sad.
You had to make it
Hi,
tragic.
love.
Hi, Anne.
Get a room.
I can't. He's DMing right now.
Yeah.
Then
I'm
later.
busy fucking everyone.
Anyway.
And not in the fun way? I don't know.
Not in the fun way.
I mean,
I mean, it's
think
fun
we
for
have fun.
Eli. It's not so fun for us.
Yep.
I mean, isn't it?
Okay, to be fair, we do actually enjoy being fucked with.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Clark's nightmare.
Fucking hell!
Anyway, back to the game.
Yeah.
Yes, back to
Sorry.
the current game.
Sorry about that.
No, it's my fault.
I feel like there's a lot of catharsis in this game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hero's
So.
having very confusing feelings right now, and I hope Tenzin doesn't feel bad for that.
So, then, with all that, what else is gonna happen?
To now we am.
Sorry, I'm just thinking words.
To now we am a snuggle.
Aww.
She's like she's. I'm gonna say she's kind of situated herself in the house, where like her family couldn't, like in the living area, but she's got Katsuro curled up, like she's kind of got him on her lap and is just hugging him, and got Shiro nearby and hugging him too, and just kind of like trying to say, okay, so just make sure he gets enough sleep, and make sure, oh, and you should take him to the shrine maybe sometime if you feel up to it, and I will try and get word to you when I can, when the dragon hatches, or if we can get a messenger hawk, and oh, you know, I hope you...
And make sure to take your medicine.
And I hope you, you know, and you should talk to my grandmother about where you should paint, and I hope that goes well, and you're really talented, and oh, if you decide to help my mother, just be careful of the Dragwar's claws, and their teeth, and sometimes they breathe fire, but don't worry too much, maybe just stay behind, Ma, and she's just basically talking a lot, and just fretting, and just like, it's like she's eventually trails off, and it's just, I'm going to miss you too.
Okay.
Sorry?
Aw. Sorry, just my brain did a derp. I was responding to something I was seeing, and at the same time as I was hearing something. I'm sorry, my brain is
That's okay. But she eventually trails off and is just, I'm going to miss you two so much.
They hug you back. And Shiro just says,
Yeah.
I know you're coming back. There were times before that I was afraid, but I know I don't have to be afraid again.
You should be safe here.
I feel safe.
Good.
I know that you're coming.
Good. After everything, you deserve to feel safe. Both of you do.
So do you. So I can't wait until you come home.
Me either. And when I do come home, it will hopefully mean that things are safer in general. For Yura and Hiro, and for the balance, for the harmony of the nations, for the Empire.
Yeah?
Oh, there's so much to fix. But we'll get there.
But you don't have to do it alone.
No. And thank goodness for that. Have you seen what I managed to get accomplished by myself? It's not a great deal.
He just leans his forehead against you and signs. You got me.
I'm so glad. She kisses his nose.
He kisses back. And after a... Well, is there anything else that anyone would like to do?
I'm good, I think. Andrea BRB'd, though.
Oh, Derpa. Sorry.
She only just did. I'm good. By the way,
Okay.
Tanawe is going to take the dragon egg with her.
That makes sense.
Do any of the rest of you?
And... Sorry, just thinking.
Do any of the rest of you have things to do before we go?
Not really.
Shiro is chasing after Kiahi, like, wait! But, I mean, Andrea's not here, so...
But, well, I'll just say that Kemushi is, cuddling with, Digits. And by the way, remember, Digits recognized her?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
How does Digits feel about being cuddled?
Digits is part cat, so...
Yeah, fair. Well, that surely means that he only wants to be cuddled when no one wants to cuddle him.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's gonna love it, and then at one point he's just gonna tackle you.
You may stroke me. You may stroke my belly 3 times, and 3 times only. If you go in for a 4th,
And then I will bite.
If you go in for a 4th, it will bite you.
Yep.
And we are. You back. Is there anything Kiahi wants to do before we go, besides run away from Hiro?
Yep.
At some point, she will go back to the boat, and then proceed to like hide behind Kemushi. Which
Hiro...
is kind of productive because she is much bigger.
Yeah, Hiro keeps, going... I kind of imagine him, like, they go around in circles around Kemushi, because she keeps hiding behind her, and Hiro keeps coming around to get her.
Yep.
And they're just on the boat like this until someone's like, Hiro, you gotta airbend the boat, and then he'll be like, oh, fine. And he'll be like,
So,
well, we're gonna talk about this later.
Everyone gets gathered on the boat. Unless there's anything else anyone wants to do. And with that,
Tanawe keeps one last hugging everyone in her family.
yes.
I think she gets about 4 or 5 one last hugs in.
I mean, accurate, honestly.
I think at some point Lily has to pull her away.
Probably.
Eventually, she just has to come over and not like aggressively or anything. She just puts her hands in between them and just gently pushes them away.
All right. Take care of each other. Katsurou, you look after your dad. Shiro, you look after Katsurou. Nana, keep them out of trouble.
And Juana says, of course I will.
And I'll send word when I can. She...
She's also going to hand over the fish that she caught as sort of a thanks of, like, cheers for letting me use your kitchen and, like, half of your ingredients. So she just sort of brings over, like, a big sort of little basket of fish. While
Juana smiles and says, you'll be able to make something great out of this. Thanks.
And make sure Katsurou eats properly.
Oh my god, Tanawe.
I know he can be a bit fussy, but he's a good boy.
Not too much chocolate.
Eventually, Tanawe kind of gets pulled out by Lily.
I love you.
And on the boat, once everyone's on, you did build it on the beach, so Tenzin actually says, don't you guys worry about getting the boat in the water. I got this, and I gotta blow off some steam, stretch my muscles, get things done.
Show off for Hiro.
She's going to show off.
Yeah, I was
And
gonna say he looks over at Hero and winks.
Who
he
did
doesn't
that?
wink. Tenzin is just stretching and then jumps off the boat, floats down to the ground, and with a few bending motions, you feel the wind start to whip up, and I'll actually roll for this.
Do not that one.
Okay, yes. And the wind fills the sails, and for a brief moment, the ship is gliding just like a millimeter off the ground, but it's enough to reduce the friction as the ship is just blown into the water. And then Tenzin just hops back up onto the ship and says, "Whew, yeah, that's, there
Hero
we
looks
go.
impressed.
Yep, I'm,
Tanawi applauds politely.
he does sort of a stretch that seems deliberately to show off his very meager airbendery muscles.
What I put in the chat stands?
Yep.
Yep.
Someone please tell these children they can share.
At some point, Lily or Tanawe or someone is going to sit them down and go, "You three, talk about your feelings now."
So, yeah, if you need, something blown, you know where to find me.
Tanawe coughs.
Hero
The
choke
sail,
snorts. Hero choke snorts like like he was like just
Tenzin does not know how to talk to boys. Tenzin has very rarely been around other boys.
But yeah, Hero is like snorting and like he's in shock and surprise and also amused.
Yeah,
And
he
Tenzin
was like, I have this in the bag.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
And Tenzin's just gonna hop back up to the top of the mast. And, meanwhile, Digits is back on Kiahi's head.
So, he's making innuendo to your boyfriend.
He was just making innuendo in general, not to anyone, and that's his personal defense.
I do not bite my thumb at you, sir. I do but bite my thumb.
Yep.
I just imagine
So-
Yahi and Tenzin just kind of like make eye contact. And then
Yeah,
both
Tenzin's
Digits
looking down at Kiahi, and you were saying, Andrea?
I'm imagining both her and Digits are making the the eye watching thing.
He does the Korra thing of doing it back sarcastically.
Tanawe provides the final moment of that gif. Just kind of going, what?
Yes.
Good.
These children.
And,
He's only a few years younger than her children.
you guys are able to sail north without any issues.
Tanawe.
And there are a few islands you could stop at, but one, there's not much on them, and two, it seems like not the best idea in the world to do
Yeah,
so.
they're going to be searched.
Yeah.
Just
But-
push on.
If you clip on at a pretty good pace, it'll be about a day of sailing before you arrive.
Tanawe spends a lot of time meditating while holding her egg.
Because it's got sort of leathery skin, you can occasionally feel the dragon moving inside it, and you can often feel its heartbeat.
She will occasionally breathe fire on it to keep it warm.
So after about 24 hours of uneventful sailing, you reach the bottom, the southmost part of the Western Air Island. And Tenzin says, "Woo, home sweet home." I mean, we're not, like, at the temple. That's up more north. But, yo, back on the island.
Cool.
Thank you very much, Tenzin.
It's real mountainy, so feel free to take a break if you ever feel an altitude sick or anything like that.
Dave says, "Woo, island."
Challenge accepted.
Ning jumps off the boat and plops down and makes an indentation in the beach.
Ning is like, "Hello,
It is-
ground."
It's a very nice rock beach.
Yay!
And this island is just lousy with mountains. And Tenzin says, now, if I remember correctly, they ditched Jingyi's old temple and... Oh, I remember. They just put it in a valley. Man, that is a snub.
Hmm. Well,
Doesn't matter, we'll get to it.
I suppose that's where we should be.
Oh,
heading.
yeah. Yep, I can lead the way.
Okay, lead on.
Tanawe is going
I'll-
to secrete the egg inside the hut, inside a nest of blankets, and go with the others.
Mm,
This egg may now be a surrogate for the family she had to leave behind.
yeah.
Oh, sweetie.
Tenzin will lead you all and say, it'll take about till noon to get there, and Dave is restarting the laptop, so Tenzin will just be yammering. It'll take until about noon to get there. I won't take you I'll bring you through the valleys, partly because that's easiest, and partly because none of you really look dressed for the cold. I mean, I know these nomad outfits don't look like much, but...
Hello.
Well, yeah, I mean, you accepted.
Kyaki proceeds to put fire in her hands.
Tanawe is still wearing her air nomad sunwear outfit, but she puts her poncho back on.
Yeah, it'll get a little cooler as we go further north, but it's the altitude that you gotta worry about. And yeah, I know air nomad outfits don't look like they'd be all that warm, but trust me, these things will keep you shockingly cozy. That, and I've learned some good deep breathing techniques along with some airbending stuff to help keep warm. It's actually good for temperature regulation in general. Ooh, I could teach you that. And I bet you could add something interesting to it, what with being a firebender too and all.
Yeah, I bet. That'd be great. I'd really like that.
I love teaching stuff. And hey, I get to teach the Avatar. That's like, very important.
Kyaki is just slightly fuming.
I mean, it's only kind of important.
Don't get too worked up, Tenzin. I've taught this kid as well. He's not the... I need to think of something that's not quite as insulting as that was going to be. She says, "Don't get too worked up, Tenzin. I've taught him as well. He's an interesting student, but don't."
I'm a good student.
No, you're not. And that was Kemushi.
Hey!
All I mean.
Well, not from how Tanawe sounds.
Well, I mean, she doesn't know everything.
Neither do you.
I mean, I've lived like a million lifetimes and stuff, so I know more than most people.
What I was going to say, Tenzin, is don't let anything go to his head.
I'll do my best.
Especially not that head. I mean, what? That was out of character.
And
Of course.
Kemushi says, I think that'll be hard for you, all things being equal.
What?
No, she said that to Tenzin.
Not you, yeah.
Tanoe glances at Tenzin, looks back at Kemushi and gives her a knowing nod.
What did Kemushi say?
Hiro, on the other hand, is oblivious and thought Kemushi was referring to him.
What did
Kemushi said, "That'll be hard for you, all things being equal."
Tenzin is Tenzin is likely to want to stroke Hiro's ego.
Yeah.
God, the innuendo are just coming to me tonight.
Oh my
Yep.
fucking god.
Aren't they? What else is?
This group, man.
Sorry, I couldn't help
This
it.
group.
You love us.
I do.
Yeah.
We are
You
adults.
losers.
The
I'm
beauty
very-
of being a beauty
I'm
of being adult is you're not afraid of being a child.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's so true, actually.
I'm barely not a teenager, so
Most of us are adults.
She is the youngest among us.
Tenzin does look a little uncomfortable, and he says, "Yeah, well, I mean, I'd ask you to keep a little more quiet, but I'm getting the feeling that's just something you literally cannot do."
She literally cannot, sorry.
Yeah.
Keep
yeah.
quiet about what?
About nothing you need
Well, I mean, but
nothing you need to...
I mean, besides all that shit she keeps saying, like about me not being cool and stuff.
It's nothing
Well, you're cool enough for Tenzin.
It's nothing you need to concern yourself with. Kemushi is simply noting the fact that Tenzin would be very proud to teach you.
Oh,
Kemushi screws up her face and says, "I'm gonna go somewhere else and say something that you probably shouldn't hear."
That would be for
Oh
the
my
best.
God.
Thank you, Kemushi.
And she walks out of earshot for a bit.
She always has to tell the truth. Doesn't mean she has to be within earshot of us.
Kyahi will follow her because she doesn't want to leave Kemushi alone.
That's
Alright,
fair.
and
Does oblivious as fuck Ning hear her?
I mean, you hear her.
Did she hear what she said?
There's
Well,
nothing
she's
stopping
out of-
you. You're all walking together, and you
Well,
mean
she's out of
observe us
earshot.
as fuck?
What?
You said oblivious as fuck.
Yeah, Ning is oblivious as fuck to all the
she's not.
the romance going on.
She's not catching the subtext. Can she hear the out loud text that Kemushi is saying?
Yes.
Roll observation, and I'm just gonna let Kyahi follow. Eventually, Kemushi just says, "Tenzin is interested in Hiro." Okay, got that out of my system. And then she walks back, and no, you do not.
Okay.
And Digits
Can
does translate for
Kyahi
you,
helped out,
Kyahi.
yeah.
Can I roll?
Also,
She
Your
deliberately
mock.
went out of earshot.
Oh, okay.
I gave Ellen a chance because Ning has sensory issues and very
fine.
good hearing.
Oh, I
So,
knew.
Oh, actually, Mark is better at observation than Ning.
I mean, I do have a 17, but she is out of earshot,
okay.
and no, I'm totally fine with not rolling because both out of earshot and she's not paying attention.
Okay,
So
that's
I'm fine with not rolling.
So, you come back. She comes back, and you keep walking, and I feel like I should wait for Dave to get back before you reach the temple,
yeah, fair.
but that gives me a chance to respond to a thing. So, derpa derpa derp. Sorry to give you more editing work, Dally.
oh, don't worry about it.
Dally,
Everyone-
question: does your editing software have a editing program called editing thing called Tonguegate Silence?
Truncate silence? No, it doesn't.
Yes.
Not
Oh,
that
dang.
I've been able to find anyway. And even if
Okay,
it
never mind.
did, it wouldn't sync up so well with the video. It's like there's it's less of an issue, I guess, when there's no webcam But at the same time,
Yeah.
I still would like, part of the reason that people like me having the Skype thing visible is so you can see what's lighting up, so you can see who's talking. If I do truncate silence, I'd only really be able to do that on the audio side of it. So the visual side of it would then be out of sync, and that would have its own issues. It's not so bad if I make the waveform visible. I can just look for the gaps visually, which is easier than listening to the entire thing. But
that's fair.
It's Blender just shuts down if I have it open for too long, and I'm not sure how to fix that. It's possible that just my laptop can't handle it. I don't know.
Do take care of yourself first and foremost.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, that's why I'm behind on editing, because I've kind of deliberately not been stressing myself out over getting it done when Blender is not cooperating, so I am slowly...
I'm sorry, there's no way I can help with it.
Don't worry about it. I'm slowly catching up, though.
If you ever want, like,
if
you just have too much of a backlog, send me some raw files. I might be able to do something.
Thanks. I mean, do you have video editing? Oh, you do, don't you? You don't just do audio editing, you do video editing as well.
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
I actually have, like, Adobe Premiere or something.
Okay.
Adobe something.
Oh, that's cool.
But, there was the bloop of a Dave returning.
Oh, hello, Dave.
I am back.
Hi.
Oh,
Okay, so...
it was better for a moment, and...
Oh, is it doing a thing again?
Was it? Yeah. Well, we'll see.
Damn. Kane's just...
Do you want us to...
Kane... Sorry, go ahead, Eli.
Sorry. Do you want us to take a break or do anything to help you?
No, just press on, I think.
Okay. Do you want to finish the thought you had, Dally?
Oh, I was just wondering if Cadence was being uncooperative.
Okay. So, at about noontime, when the sun's high overhead, you get to a place, it's in the valley between two large mountains. So, you can see that the sun being overhead, light is shining down, but it wouldn't be for a lot of the time, and because it's surrounded by mountains, the wind is still here, like eerily still, and the air smells stagnant, and it feels like there's still dust hanging in it.
Like a temple trapped in time.
And there is a temple with a broken, crumbled base, clearly very badly maintained, lying in between these two mountains, and it obviously was not built here.
So I'm just imagining like 30 dozen monks, Shaolin robes and everything, just lifting this thing up and carrying it on their backs into this valley.
You know that's not how it happened.
I know.
But it is still an amusing mental image.
Just, why don't we take the temple and push it somewhere else?
Tenzin just cringes and says, "Ugh, this place sucks more every time I come here."
He just picked it up and hid it away, huh?
Have
Yeah.
you been here long?
It was a decent place to fly and be with myself and my thoughts.
Okay.
I always felt kind of He walks up and there is a statue. It's very cracked, badly unkempt, covered in moss, but it's recognizably a statue of Jingyi when she was much younger. In fact, it almost looks like her as a teenager. And he walks over and touches the statue. And he says, "I guess I always kind of felt a kinship with her. Just because I knew I wasn't going to stay here forever."
Mm-hmm.
And I knew people might look down on me for that.
When did you know?
Sorry,
Oh, sorry, yeah, Dave?
I was just going to say, this might have been explained, but Eli said a couple of times that the temple seems to have been moved, and I'm just wondering how physically you move a temple.
Airbending. And
did they deconstruct it and reconstruct it?
No, they basically just hired a bunch of earthbenders to take the top of the mountain off where the temple was. They didn't put it on their highest mountain, obviously. And they then took the temple, had all their airbenders get a bunch of air under it, and just plonked it down here.
How far did they move it?
I'd say over the course of a few months, they moved it a few miles.
Okay.
Like, it was a large number of small trips. But they weren't fucking around with this.
It's like, I need to get this, put it over here, and no one can see it. Yes, I don't think that was explained in character, but yes.
The physical how wasn't, but the fact that they did was.
Yeah, it has very much been said that this has been moved from where it was originally.
And Tanawe asked, when did you know? And Tenzin sighs, I didn't always know quite what it was, but I always knew I wouldn't be here forever. I always knew that I was... This probably isn't why she left, but I knew that I was like her because something about me was different. I mean, with her, she got changed by what happened to her, but with me, I feel like I was born different.
This didn't feel like home to you.
Yeah.
When you say all that happened to Jingyi...
And they said that was normal. They said that it was just you being an air nomad, you know? You don't have a home. Everywhere's your home, but it wasn't. It just wasn't. But what were you saying?
Tenzin, when you say all that happened to Jingyi, are you talking about how she was captured by the Fire Lord, how she had to kill him?
Well, yeah, that, but also before that...
Before?
She saw a lot of the people in her life killed.
Yes.
I mean, not everyone in the Western Air Temple was killed, but...
There was a major attack, yes.
Yeah, like a third of them were taken out. All women and children.
Despicable.
Yeah.
No, I can't imagine.
And hey, the new Fire Lord wants to bring that back. Ain't that fun?
Well, we're not going to let him.
Yeah.
The new Fire Lord is a puppet. He just doesn't know it yet.
I mean the real Fire Lord.
Ah. He's no real Fire Lord to me. The real Fire Lord is currently in Interasu.
Yeah, that's fair, but...
I know what you mean. The one who sees power.
He jumps up and just floats up before landing on Jingyi's head. And he pats it. And he says, me and her, we would have gotten along.
Hiro smirks.
Well, her granddaughters are here. Perhaps you can get along with them. She says this almost pointedly.
I mean, I hope so. It'd be nice.
She looks at Kiahi, looks back at Tenzin, back at Kiahi, back at Tenzin. It's like, you do better and play nice. Sorry, what?
Yeah, he has not been paying attention to any of this at all, and has just been staring at
Jingyi.
Yeah.
And Kemushi is clearly distracted as well. she's looking at the Jingyi statue also.
Oh, go ahead.
Hiro goes, I mean, I don't know if this counts, but, like, I mean, I kind of share a spirit with her, so... And we get along.
Yeah. I like that. And Mock?
Oh yeah, Mark finally looks up. Can I roll something to like look at the construction of this building and just like, is it it's particularly well made?
I'll say observation.
Oh, good.
That skill that you are, kind of okay at.
Wow.
Yeah. You're having some trouble focusing
Wow.
just because there's a lot of stuff going on. But
What is with
just
my
because
rolls
you're
today?
very good at it in general, you can tell that this is... It was well made when it was made, but it has clearly seen less than minimal upkeep, as well as being, thrown around.
She's gonna start sketching the temple, and then as she's sketching it, she's also gonna sketch damage and like make little notes of like possible earthbending accident into this part of damage. And I just try to like figure out, what happened to this thing.
To know it.
From his... Sorry.
No, go ahead.
From his place on the top of the statue, he says, it was just a shrine, so, like, there weren't really... I mean, there's a little living quarter over there, just like where the caretakers would stay, but the main meat of the shrine is over there in the middle, and there's a sanctuary in the back. You can open it pretty easily, but nobody ever went in there, just because, when we were kids, we'd all say, ooh, it's haunted. All of Jingyi's sins are there, whatever that means.
So you know where we're going.
I was going to say, Tanoe says,
Also, I just really want us to walk in there and Mark just look over the wall and go, hey, there's a secret door here.
I gotta be honest, I just think that was what the grown-ups told us to get us to stay away from, their big failures temple.
what do you mean by sanctuary?
You know how Roku, you guys went to Roku Island, right?
We did.
I know at least one of you did. And Kemushi just sort of nods, it's only sort of paying attention. Well, you know how that had its own sort of back room that only opened, like, on the solstices? This, bless you. This is like that, bless you. But it only opens for a skilled airbender. It's just some light airbending parlor tricks you gotta perform, no big deal. But we still stayed out. When we were real little, it was because we couldn't do it. And, some girls still can't do it, but still stayed out just because, got passed down again and again that, ooh, the place is haunted, ooh, there's probably some traps in there that'll kill you, or whatever.
I really want all these like fancy tricks, and the last one is the famous Aang double ball trick.
Can Ning just stomp a bit on the floor?
Yes, you may. Roll earthbending.
Wow.
Not great, but the earth, it's actually kind of hard to get a good view of the temple, partly because it's largely made of wood, and partly because the earth underneath the temple is fractious. It is crunched and munched. It's not only been earthbent, and it clearly has been earthbent quite violently, but it's also been dropped, crumpled. A lot of the foundation is gravel at this point.
Oh.
so it's kind of hard to get a great read.
Okay. I don't. I can't find any traps, but that doesn't mean there aren't any.
We'll be careful.
I mean, I never blundered into any, and I've explored all this place except the sanctuary. It's not that I think it's haunted. I really don't, but it's just didn't feel right. I don't know.
It's haunted by something. Not anything particularly tangible, but there's a stigma attached to this place. Like you said.
Oh,
We're going
yeah.
to feel our sins crawling up our back.
Like you said, the Western Air Temple views Jingyi as a failure.
Yeah.
So that's going to taint the air around here, isn't it?
Yeah.
Not because there's anything wrong with the temple per se, but everyone's perception of it.
Also, doesn't help that there's, like, all the dust hanging around. This air is thick. It's hard to airbend.
Tanoe has been watching Kemushi and Kiahi and eventually says, "Have you two seen a statue of your grandmother before?"
I have. And, Kiahi, you do remember from when you were Cho that there were statues of Jingyi, never any this big. But actually there was one this big, but you didn't get to see it very often. It was outside in the town square, but the ones indoors were of a much older Jingyi.
I did get to see the one that was kind of like in the middle of town, but I never really could pay that much attention because I was always preoccupied.
That makes sense.
Yeah, they were mostly just normal to us, and it's interesting to see her younger here, but it's still a statue. It's not really.
Well, we're going to see if we can.
This is a lot.
Do you need a moment?
Yeah, probably, but I'm gonna see how far I can get.
Alright, anytime you need to go back outside, just say the word. One of us will accompany you.
It's just... And little sparks come out of the eye on Kemushi's forehead, and she says, "It's just so disrespectful."
You're right, it is.
And I know she wasn't... I don't know what she was. I know she wasn't perfect, obviously. Of course she wasn't. And a lot of people think she wasn't even good, but...
But she still was from
But
here.
they just...
She was still an air nomad.
And they just... hid her away.
If someone feels that they have made a mistake, they should address it and take responsibility for it, not just hide it.
And it's... I don't know what to think.
Yeah, he does in fact grab Kemushi's hand to squeeze it a little bit.
Kemushi squeezes back and she says, "Do you know anything about Jingyi that I don't?"
I don't think so. She died when I was really little. I didn't get a chance to know her.
I know, but would there be anything you found out in your travels about her?
No. I stayed in a lot of towns a lot. I was scared.
That makes sense. I'm sorry.
Kemushi, I realize that not having access to the truth must be very upsetting for you, but part of why we're here is to find out more about Jingyi. Maybe that will help you too.
I know it will. I'm scared that I'm going to explode. And I'd hurt this place more, and I'd hurt people, and I just...
Kemushi, Do you need to stay out here in Combustion Bend?
Yeah, but I don't want to do it near Kiahi.
Do you want me to come with you?
I need to go somewhere where the vibrations won't travel far enough to hit her.
Why don't you and I go and find somewhere and we'll catch up?
If that's okay.
Will that be alright with the rest of you? She's signing this as well.
Yeah, he looks a little upset, but she knows she can't. That there's nothing she can do about it.
I'll come back when I feel like I'll be safer to be around you and here, I promise.
Okay.
You won't be long.
Take care.
Don't trigger any traps while we're gone.
What did you say, Smarty?
We'll be here if you need us.
Thank you. And Kemushi is going to run out towards just away from here.
Tanawe follows.
All right. And no need to focus on that scene unless you want to,
No,
because
that's fine.
mostly Kemushi will just be getting far away and then screaming at nothing in particular and firing off a bunch of combustions into the sky.
Yep. Tanawe just keeps an eye on her as she does so.
And with the rest of you, Tenzin floats down from the top of Jingyi and says, "So, want to take a look around?"
I think that's a good idea.
Maybe. I was thinking about meditating. Maybe.
Yeah, I just figured it'd be best to do that in the sanctuary since, you know, that's where all the spooky shit's going down.
Yeah, you're right. Sure, let's go.
All right. So, and he leads you all inside, and as you go through, the air is just so stagnant. You feel like you can smell the stone dust that was kicked up when it was first earthbent off the top of the mountain. It feels like this place is just sort of locked in right when it was disgraced.
Hiro looks a bit overwhelmed.
You alright, buddy?
It's just a lot.
Yeah, I felt like that when I first came here too. I guess I just got used to it after a while, you know?
Yeah, but it feels like this is mine, I guess. In a way.
I guess it is.
So
As you go through the halls, sorry.
No, he was just saying, so yeah, that's a lot.
The halls have clearly degraded, and it's not like a big temple, but it's big enough to have a couple halls. They've degraded, but they were built in such a way and maintain enough of their what's the word, stature that the acoustics are still quite good, and your footsteps echo through them against the floor. And you can tell just by looking around that if this place were on top of a mountain, like it was supposed to be, the air would be whipping through it. Some of the older kids, I don't know if this is true, but some of them used to say that back when this was on top of the mountain, it would sing when the wind blew through it just right. I tried to do it a few times, but never happened. And plus, kick up the wind too much here, you end up choking on all the dust.
Well, maybe someday we'll figure out if it's true.
Maybe.
When there's not, dust to worry about.
Yeah.
Maybe one day we can put it back on the top of the mountain.
Maybe.
Don't know if they'd have that, but I'd like it. Just to have something you can see that says you don't have to be here forever. That's not really a message they're into sending out around here right now, though.
Hmm.
Because, you know, look what happened last time.
Yeah.
Okay, so, and you come to a rather large door with a number of odd mechanisms in it. Gears, cogs, pipes. And he says, okay, it's a little complicated. I can just open it up for you if you want, but I don't know, do you think it's like part of the experience for you to figure it out?
I'd like to give it a try if you don't mind.
Alright.
Finally, a competent roll.
What was that a roll for?
Airbending, I guess.
Alright, but I'll also need you to roll something to try and figure out the mechanisms.
Okay, how about wit?
Yeah, that works.
Okay.
You get a decent idea of how these mechanisms work, and then with a few deep breaths, you can tell that the air is very thick, and it's much more difficult to bend than what you normally deal with. But you are able to get it through the pipes and just force it up into the mechanisms in such a way that they creak to life, spewing some ancient stone dust out of them, rusty cogs crunching, and just turning, and you can hear the lock inside of the door stunk back open.
Hiro gags a bit at the dust, but he looks surprised and pleased when he is successful.
Hey, way to go, bro.
Thanks. I wasn't expecting that to work. I
See,
mean,
my
I
teaching's
was.
already getting better.
I mean, I thought it would work. I mean,
Just go in, pal.
yeah, I'll do that. And he heads inside.
When you open the door, it creaks, and you go in, and there's no natural light coming in. You can see that this place was seemingly deliberately placed. You can tell that the whole temple's on kind of a tilt, and as you've been moving deeper into it, you've been moving downward, and this place is actually half buried. So even with the sun directly above, no natural light gets in.
Kiyaki will basically light up her arm in a large enough flame so people can see.
And when you do that, you see this place is covered in spider webs. There are dust motes everywhere. Like any light from the fire just makes it look like there is 1,000 tiny little points floating inside of this place. And it all smells of ancient earth and rocks. And you can see that the back is cracked, and in it there is an altar with 30 unlit candles, and a plaque underneath it says, "For my mothers and sisters."
Hiro swallows a bit.
Was there significance to mothers having multiple?
Well, she was raised in an air nomad cloister.
All right.
Yeah.
Raised by the clan.
Not the clan.
I know, but like that's the
Raised by the
what is
nuns.
it?
Yeah, that. And you see that throughout this place there are many. There are 30 sort of wind toys. They're sort of like windmills or windsocks. Each one is a little different from the last, and each one was clearly handcrafted.
Hiro studies them for a moment.
Those that have paper cloth parts, or those that have been painted, seem to have occasional marks on the cloth or the paint as though they were water damaged.
Right, Hiro is gonna take a deep breath, and he's gonna sit down, and he's going to try to meditate a bit.
Will Iroh be joining him?
Yes.
Both of you roll focus.
Whew, okay. Focus. Hey, net 19.
Alright. As you guys are sitting, Hiro feels it first. It almost feels like whispers. And even though the air is still, it feels like there's bits of wind licking at your ears and the back of your neck and your hair. And Hiro, you don't understand why. Nothing sad has happened, but you're crying.
Hiro is having a boys don't cry moment and tries to hide it from everyone who's around.
And as Yura is able to get her focus, Hiro, you're wiping under your eyes when you realize that the two of you are sort of in the spirit world here now. And you can tell that because you can see spectral figures looking down at you. 30 of them around you.
Hiro looks around.
And Yura can see this too. Note, none of the other people in this room can see it unless they're meditating as well.
Hiro doesn't know what to say. Like, he's still kind of overwhelmed by everything.
Yura, you're starting to tear up even though nothing's sad.
I mean, am I feeling sad, or is it?
No,
am I
you're
feeling
just...
weepy out of nowhere, or is it just that my eyes are doing it?
Your eyes are tearing up, but not as though they're hurting. You yourself aren't feeling sad.
Am I like sobbing, or is it just
Just your eyes.
just my eyes?
Although your throat might hurt a bit.
Oh.
What?
From the screaming.
No.
No, I mean, like, I'm thinking, like, because we're clearly feeling something that someone else has felt before, and I'm wondering if her throat is hurting because of a screaming.
Euro will brush away the tears and kind of irritation, because when your eyes are running, even though you don't feel sad, it's mostly irritating rather than anything else. And we'll also kind of gesture at her throat, in a not in a kind of communicating way, but just as a kind of it's in character. Iroh might notice that, and I'm kind of looking around at the figures. Are they just like standing there staring, or are they?
They're just spectral shadows who are looking at you. They're in a disparity of sizes, and
Disparity of sizes.
And they're just looking at you, and it's hard to read them because they don't have any faces. Most of them just seem sort of human-shaped, like with bald heads, no eyes, no mouth.
Generic anime crowd.
Sort of like that, actually.
Can I tell whether they're male or female? Or?
They all seem to be female. Although these smaller ones don't really have any defining traits. Yes, Dave.
Well, you said we can't see the faces, so...
That's reasonable, but still.
Oh my god, Dave.
If you're wondering, Dave put boobs in the chat.
No, he put bubes.
Boobs.
I'm going to marry this man one day.
You better.
Yeah.
Bucky, you say that as if it's kind of a responsibility to take me off the market.
You don't understand. You have to, or someone else will.
Tally taken one for the team.
Boobs aside.
This is such a serious moment, Dave. Serious business.
Serious boobness.
I kind of kept thinking I wanted to try airbending those toys, but I can't airbend, or maybe light the candles, but I can't firebend. So
I mean, Hiro's here with you.
Yeah.
You could suggest it to him.
That would involve communicating.
Yeah. And also, you're both
With
in
her
the spirit
brother.
world right now, so you can't right now.
Ah.
Can we not?
You can come back out if you want, but in the spirit world, you can't bend unless if your spirit is out of your body. You can't bend because bending's a physical act.
If you actually went into a portal physically in the spirit world, you can bend. Because your body and your soul are in there.
That was the thing.
But you need your body to bend anything, and right now, neither of you have it.
Hiro is going to look around and see if he can, see anything that tells him anything.
You see... Sorry?
Could try making chit-chat with the spirits, but what was he going to say?
You do see, two deep indents in the ground, as though someone's been kneeling there long enough for the ground to become dented right in front of all the candles.
Hiro looks back up at the figures and tries to wave his hands to see if they react at all.
Some of them tilt their heads.
Hello?
You hear... You and Yura both hear sounds like whispering on the wind. Hello, 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 hello. Hello.
Okay. Yeah, I hear you. Okay. Do you know who we are?
You're the Avatar.
Okay, good. We have that straight. Cool. Okay. We are trying to figure out what happened to Jingyi. Is there anything you can tell us?
We were trapped here, away from the whispering of the winds, before she died.
Okay. Is there anything we can do to help you?
Our time is before. We are not here now. God damn it.
Is that someone's car alarm going off in the background?
It sounded like some kind of alarm.
Sounded like some kind of cars. It says it's a car alarm.
I might have missed this. Was the temple moved while Jingyi was still alive, or was it after she died?
Oh. I had assumed it was after she died, but I don't know if it was actually said.
Yeah.
Because I get that I assume it was the air nomads were pissed off with Jingyi, but I couldn't remember whether that was because she founded the Empire Balance or.
It would have been because she founded the Empire Balance, I think. Did she do any other?
Ning.
In which case, it might have been while she was still alive.
Ellen is saying, "Okay, that's it. Moving this entire mountaintop back where it came from."
Ning does in one day what an entire unit of Earthbenders did in months.
But yes.
Airbenders?
Yeah,
Oh, yes.
Eli said that they got Earthbenders to decapitate the mountain, but then they moved it with airbending.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah.
I mean, I'll be honest with you, I'm kind of thinking that, at least to let the spirits rest, we should put this thing back where it came from, or so help me.
Put the thing back where it came from, or so help me!
Okay, I think the car alarm has shut up. Can you guys hear anything?
Can hear you.
No. We hear you, lovely, but nothing else.
Sorry about that.
Not your fault.
But, where was I? Oh, yes. We can't know what it was. We heard she stopped visiting after we were moved. And when we were moved, we couldn't even hear the wind. They didn't let her back. And we could not hear the wind. So we can't know.
No.
But we know until you came, we didn't even know that she was dead.
Oh. Okay. Well, is there anything you can tell us about her? Maybe that could help us.
She fought for us. She tried to save us. She visited us every day. She told us that she was going to do something, to build an empire, to build balance, so that we would never, people like us, who had done nothing, who had committed no sin, would not be slaughtered again in the fires of war. She told us about a woman she loved. She told us that she was finding out more about the spirit world. She told us that she was studying the spirits. She told us that she would change at least one world, but both, if she could find a way.
Who was the woman she loved?
She loved Zora. She was of the Fire Nation. Zora's husband, he didn't love her. At least Jingyi thought he didn't. Zora's first child was an earthbender. Her husband was of the Fire Nation. He did not like that. Zora Zora did not choose to have an earthbender child. Her husband did not believe her. Jingyi said that he tried to hurt Zora, and that he tried to hurt her son, and that he tried to hurt his daughter because he did not believe she was his. But she said that she saved her and took her somewhere safe. That was not long before she stopped coming to visit us. It was not long before they moved us to the valley.
Oh. Is there anything else you can tell us?
We do not know what you do not know, but we can try.
I mean, there's a lot we don't know.
There is much people might not want you to know. Jingyi's heart was broken. We are kept here, in a way, by her broken heart.
How do you mean?
She wished to have a way to speak to those she had lost. And because some of us wished to speak to her too, we stayed here. This place, we became connected to it by the morning. And they each look at the toys around themselves. The morning kept us connected. She promised us that someday we could all rest. That we could rest knowing the world was safe. For something like this to never happen again. But now we're trapped here. Tell us what the wind cannot. Is the world safe?
Hiro looks uncomfortable and he goes, "It will be."
You hope so?
I know so.
And,
Small dog believes in you.
Sorry, guys.
Small dog believes in Hiro.
it's alright. Nobody deserves to suffer as we have. And Hiro and Yura for a moment, you are inside a temple neither of you have ever seen, but that you instinctively know is home. You can see women, old women, young women, little girls on fire, burning. You hear screaming. You feel the heat. You feel a grip at the back of your neck. And a familiar sensation fills you. You both know that you're entering the Avatar state. You remember it.
Oh
and
boy.
then you're back in. And then the memory fades, and you're back in the room with the spirits. Nobody should suffer as we have. Nobody should suffer as she did.
Yeah, and we're gonna fix it.
Please do. Please do what you can.
Well, we will. Is there anything we can do to help you?
We are shadows. The true souls have moved on. We are not human spirits. We are just what was left behind after so much pain, so much hurt, so much longing, so many lives cut short. But we will not pretend. It would not be nice to hear the wind again.
Okay, we'll see what we can do.
Please do.
Yura, is there anything you need to ask?
No. No, I don't think so.
Then the two of you may wake back up.
Alright.
Yura and Hiro were meditating for about 10 minutes from the outside.
Hiro sits up and he sighs and he goes, "Any ideas of where to go next? From all that?"
Did you find anything?
We need to. We still need to find out more about this Vatu. I wonder whether I wonder whether it might be worth trying to find the sorry, I've forgotten what it's called. Let's look it up.
What it's called?
There is a legend of a great library in the Siwong Desert in the Earth Kingdom, inhabited by a great spirit, and I wonder whether he might have information for us about things in the spirit world like Vatu and
That's a pretty good idea, Yura.
I think it's fair you'd know about that since you're such a spiritual person.
What did you learn?
There are spirits, shadows, I guess, trapped here from Jingyi's morning. All the people that died.
Okay.
I think before we leave, we should try to do something for them. They want they want to feel the wind again.
May I take some time to attempt to talk with them?
Go ahead.
All right.
We'll meditate and attempt to enter the spirit world.
I'll let you take 10 on that with what you just took. And you can enter the spirit world and see the spirits as I described them. And another one. You're not the Avatar. Who are you?
I'm a friend. I heard you wanted something. I thought maybe I could help.
Yeah. It would be nice, if we could hear the wind again. Because here, there is no wind. We do not know what's going on outside in the world. And perhaps hearing what's going on without all the stillness trapping us, we could find some peace.
Okay. Thank you for sharing.
Please. Well, focus on the living before the dead, but it would be nice to not be in such stillness.
Okay. I'll try. And Ningo will leave.
And you're back awake.
What? Is Tenzin still there?
Tenzin is, and Tenzin's actually being unusually reserved and reverential, not noticing Kiahi glaring at him as he very, very gently examines the handmade little wind toys.
There seem to be two options, and neither of them seem terribly feasible to me. But I guess we have some exceptional benders here that we might be able to work something out. Either we somehow find a way to bring the winds down here, or I think we need to try and get the shrine back up to the mountaintop to be exposed to the winds.
That would be good, because I know they hated Jingyi, but this wasn't just a shrine to her. I can tell that now. This is for all the women who died.
Maybe
Do you
The
think-
Fire Nation attacked.
Do you think the shrine? Do you think they moved the shrine as a punishment to the? Was it just Jingyi that made them move the shrine? Or-
It was just Jingyi, but it was when she started the Empire of Balance that they moved it. So it was after. It wasn't long enough for the pain to go away, but it was long enough for it to be more about her than it was. I mean, nobody ever told me that this wasn't just her shrine. Nobody ever said anything about everyone else.
Maybe we can find a way. I don't know if we'll be able to get the whole temple up, but maybe we can somehow separate the room from everything else.
Maybe we don't have to move the whole thing. Maybe we can just carve a path for the wind. It would be a start.
I know it's not my forte at all, but would Mark be able to roll some kind of mental stat to determine where tunnels would need to be built to have wind travel through the valley?
I'll say roll cognition.
Okay. Damn it! Another
Nice
3. Yeah, 17.
Would anyone like to re-roll that?
Go on, I'll give him my reroll.
Thank you. I have 3 for anyone that needs them as well.
Under those
34.
damage. 3 times per day.
With the 34 and with some guidance from Yura, you are able to identify some places in the mountain where, with some earthbending tricks, you could make a path for the wind to come in. Not all days, but most days.
I just imagine she goes like, "Oh, if we put a tunnel right here, it'll work." And she just point off in a direction, and Yo comes up, just turns her like 90 degrees. If we put a tunnel here, it'll work.
Oh my god, Mark.
And with that, it won't work every day, but with how the winds work most days, you'll be able to get air into the temple.
Do you need help punching a mountain into?
It's starting a game of Minecraft. Start punching the mountain. Yes.
Punch the mountain.
Yes. Punch trees.
Punch trees to get wood.
Sorry. Who were you asking?
I was mostly asking out of character if you all needed Ning's help.
I have to confess, I kind of zoned out when, for a moment, when Eli was explaining what we would need to do to get the wind in every couple of days or something. I think that would probably be good enough, unless the rest of the party thinks. But would that involve like major earthbending kind of stuff? Did you say?
It would be a fairly major earthbending operation, but something that an earthbender as good as Ning and one as average as you would be able to pull off by nightfall, if with a little luck.
Okay. Someone go get Ning. She's determined to lift the mountain back to where it came from. She got some determination and spent a couple of points in strength.
the lost souls fill you with determination.
Get out.
Not
I mean-
inaccurate.
I mean, incredibly fitting, but also get out. Dolly!
Europe will try and find Ning and try to explain Mark's plan.
She is lifting a several-ton boulder when you find her.
Because she can.
She
Um,
flexes a boulder.
Ning is
because
just
she
like,
can.
I'm gonna lift a temple. Ning, you don't gotta. I'm gonna lift a temple.
I'm gonna lift
While
that
going
temple.
against Ning, Mark is drawing up plans for the tunnels.
We can
I
just put a hole in a mountain instead. Unbelievably, that's actually more feasible.
Yes.
Ning will agree to this.
I'll be right back. I gotta pee. Sorry.
As she recognizes that she could probably not move that mountain top very far or very safely. So she'll agree to this for now, but she will come back for it later.
I'm gonna lift up a
Just
temple
out
at some
of
point.
character,
You
if
can't
we-
stop me.
Just out of character, if Euro went into the Avatar state, would that help with lifting up the temple?
It would, yes. You'd need someone to help keep you focused. And if you enter the Avatar state without doing it correctly, you get pretty murdery.
Ooh.
Who'd notice the difference?
Fair point, actual.
Fair. You'd get less verbal.
I think that's a blessing for everybody.
Ow.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I like
Shots fired.
I like your. It's just, you have to admit, she's not the most tactful. On the other hand, Mark is even less tactful.
It's especially coming from Mark.
No, tell me from me. Mark is like, doesn't even know the meaning of the word.
It's what you use to stick things to walls.
Yes.
And yes, we are coming back to move the fucking temple back where it came from.
In the final credits roll on the very last episode, and once they all roll, we have an after scene, an after movie scene, and it's just the three of them.
It doesn't even show them, it just shows the mountain just moving up along and then dropping again.
Yes.
And Ning might just get some training in earthbending to be specialized, so that
Specialized
she'll
temple
have.
mover.
I specialize in temple moving. How often does that come up?
You'd be
More often than
You'd be
think.
surprised. Too often. She puts a sign up saying, "Don't move this temple again."
I specialize in temple moving and library grabbing. I know that's going to come up.
Actually, yeah. Oh fuck.
Mark is just, and specialize in library grabbing. Mark just perks up. What?
I had a sudden moment of going, "Oh no, don't let the temple go underground." And then I'm like, "No, wait, Tanawe said Thrandy's in a different game."
I'm surprised there isn't an underground temple somewhere, of all things.
Oh, there will be.
There sort of is. I mean, there's the upside down air temple, which is actually what you're close to.
Yeah, isn't it? Yeah, it's the Eastern Air Temple that's up. No, Western. Help!
Yeah, the Western Air Temple, which is where you're currently close to, is the one that's upside down.
Yes.
It's always been so cool to me. But like I don't know, Earthbenders, I feel like would have maybe built a temple underground.
Well, probably. I mean, the Tunnel of Two Lovers is kinda like that.
Kinda. Also, wait, is that a thing in this universe? I don't remember when that whole legend became a thing.
What, Omashu?
That whole legend was a thing long
Okay,
long
Yeah.
ago.
okay.
Omashu is a thing. Omashu was in my game, and my game was 1,000 years ago. Thousands of years ago. And I did my research.
That was a fun game. The Bender.
No bender.
But yes, I'm going to stack on the strength, and I'm going to maybe get Tough to teach a Ning earthbending. so she can get some more points in that.
Okay, so what we gotta do is we gotta save the
Well, we're waiting.
Beifongs, and then we go see Toph, and it's like, okay, we saved your parents, now teach Ning a thing.
While you guys are working on the airbending, eventually, Kemushi has gotten it all out of her system, and she and Tanawe get back, and Kemushi goes over to where Kiahi's sitting in front of the statue of Jingyi, and just sits next to her.
Tanawe, who the heck is Tanawe? Tanawe sidles up to Lily and asks her what she missed.
As Lily explains it, because I've forgotten half of it.
Enough.
Everything that happened. Yes.
Oh,
So-
Lily didn't like go into meditate and go into the spirit world thing. So Lily
No, but the
probably
general
doesn't
gist
really
did
know
get
what-
explained.
Okay, yeah.
Yes. The general gist of it is explained, because I personally was only paying half attention.
Do I
She's
need
going
to
to
roll
she's going to
for-
look sadly at the candles and start lighting them, and then sit reverentially before them.
The candles have trouble staying lit because the air is so thick and
Well, that's what Tanawe's doing.
earthy.
That's what Tanawe's doing for a while, making sure the candles stay lit.
I'm sure Mark has some kind of accelerant.
No.
You're able to light them up eventually, but the flames are still small and a bit sputtery.
This is just how she's paid. Yeah, this is how Tanawe is paying her respect while everyone else is doing useful shit.
He OD lighter fluid.
But, Dave, what were you saying?
I was just saying, do I need to roll something to persuade Ning to that Mac's idea is a good one, and we should go and punch a hole in some mountains rather than trying to physically move a temple right at the moment?
I think just a minute of explaining it will be enough.
Plus,
Oh, you see,
punching a hole
Helen.
in a mountain, it sounds kind of like Ning's thing.
Yeah. And Ning recognizes that Earth is about patience.
Sorry, hold on. Welcome to Salted Spittoon. How tough are you? I punched a hole through a mountain, and it was Mark's idea. Come on in.
Oh my
Ah,
god.
God damn it. But anyway, with all that, I would like you guys to both roll earthbending.
Earthbending.
Earthbending? What? Nonsense is this?
One must bend earth to punch a hole in a mountain.
What?
Can I
No.
add my strength?
I'm gonna say no on this one because actually physically punching the mountain doesn't help.
One of the rare times.
Would someone
Yeah.
like to give me a
Wow.
reroll? That's pretty.
go ahead.
Would someone like to give both of us rerolls? That's pretty rare.
Yeah,
You
I'll
can-
give you. I'll give you both one.
Okay, that works.
Yeah, people have been unusually kind to my rolls today. Thank you. Nice on that
That's
third.
Oh
better.
my-
Ugh,
Oh.
that's worse.
Is there a rule that
Not
says you
helpful.
can't? Is there a rule that says it can't be used again?
I don't.
Not to my knowledge.
No, you take one of mine.
Yeah.
You're just digging the wrong mountain,
Oh my god.
wrong direction.
You're as digging the floor.
You're a no.
Mark's like, no. Turns her. It's like, here, and it's still clearly the wrong direction.
I see that you are now enriched uranium.
Yes.
Should I? Yes. Should I do a different?
Yeah, no. You have. I'm giving you a reroll.
Yeah.
Do I get another 5?
You
or
get
do I
you
just-
get a 5. It doesn't stack. So just roll d20 plus 3 plus 5 again.
Something.
Better.
It's average.
I'll
It's
take it.
average.
Sorry, just muting for a moment.
I
It's better.
Yes, I
punch
was.
a hole in a mountain.
You know, the I have discovered through painful trial and error that it appears that the Chrome, having Chrome running with Skype, or having something in Chrome doesn't like the sound card on this, so I've had to close down Chrome. Obviously, that's where I had.
That was
I
causing the
rolled through
headphone
them.
issues.
That was causing the headphone issues.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
I've
you
had
have
to
to
switch.
deal with
There's
that.
always
had-
something. It's
had
like
to
it's like
switch
I
to
can't use
Firefox.
I can't use Firefox while I'm running OBS. What the fuck?
But with a little help, eventually you're both able to work together, though Ning is doing quite a bit of it, and you're able to open up a hole in the mountain. The hole is not open until night has fallen, though.
You're
But
gonna get a call from an airbender at some point going, you punched a hole in our mountain. The fuck?
it's not a mountain that's bearing any loads.
I know, but
Obviously.
They might still
It's
be
not a load
they
mountain.
might still be
Mountain, why?
injured. Come to our air temple, punch holes in our mountains.
When you do, you finally break through that last bit of rock, and you widen the hole, and wind whips through and down into the valley, and you can smell the difference immediately. The air smells like the mountain and the ocean instead of like the stagnant stone and dust, and the air just rushes through the temple, and you hear this low and anyone standing in the temple can feel the whole of it vibrate beneath their feet. And as the wind rushes to the back of the temple, all of the toys the wind socks lift up, the pinwheels spin, the helicopters swirl, and the flames, which should be going out, are instead made stronger.
Sonoe is going to stand up and look around, and she's just going to hope that that's meant to be what's happening, and that, you know, Ning and Yura didn't cause an earthquake.
This is supposed to happen, right?
We might do that later.
Yeah.
And the wind just keeps coming and coming for a while, and you just feel eventually the levels die down, and the whole temple just feels much cleaner. The air feels far more breathable. Airbenders and firebenders noticed this a little too. You were having some trouble with your bending just because the air was so stagnant and so full of detritus. But now you can breathe again.
I do have a question. Because Ning and Yo were the ones earthbending, would Mark have had some free time?
Yeah.
What did you do?
Cool. Can I roll something to make something?
I'll say you may roll cognition.
Yay!
What did she do? Inquiring minds want to know.
16. I'm gonna message you with what I wanted to make, and you might, because it's simple.
Oh. Andrea says Kiagi
Right,
is sticking around.
And when Kemushi feels the ground rumble, she gets up, and upon seeing the temple filled with air again, she just has this massive grin on her face. And yeah, I'll say that you can do that.
Yay!
But it's like a Leonardo da Vinci style one.
Yeah.
Oh my god, are you making a helicopter?
Tank.
Mark, after all of this, like, you know, the temple is all really great. Mark comes in, lays down a toy helicopter on one of the altars.
It's
Being
cute.
cute. Stop it.
It floats
And then-
up a little with the wind before falling back down again.
That's fine. How dare.
I'm
How
fine.
dare. You could have made a little toy
And-
air balloon.
When
Damn it!
Yeah, I was wondering why you didn't do that.
Because it means the candle would have had to stay lit,
Okay, fair point.
and eventually I mean, I don't care how like spirit magic you would have. Eventually, that candle's gonna go out,
Fair.
and I would rather it just be able to be used whenever.
To know, we're like, are you doubting my firebending proficiency? No, but you can't keep a candle lit for it. Are you doubting my It's just the laws of physics.
You can't be here 24/7.
Yes.
And
Which Tanawe stays here 24/7 out of spite.
Or she develops long-range permanent firebending.
I wouldn't say no to that.
Just
Out of spite.
Yes.
Ning will come back, dust herself off, go back into the room with the spirits, and try to go back to them.
when you go back, you see that the spirit room is actually empty. And if you're in the spirit world, so you can walk out and you see that the ghostly spirits are exploring the temple and just feeling the wind.
My heart. Ow.
Ning will attempt to get someone's attention.
Like,
You can have my attention.
Excuse me,
Oh,
Mrs.
you mean
Ghost.
one of the spirits?
Yeah, one of the spirits.
Sorry.
Excuse me, ghost.
Are you a boy or a girl? I'm a ghost.
No, these ghosts are girls.
I know.
He was
This is
referencing
established.
Napster Book.
But you go to one of the ghosts.
Mm-hmm.
You find one of the more hunched ghosts.
Mm-hmm.
And what are you gonna say?
This is all we can do for now. I will go take care of the living, and if it is possible, I'll come back, and I'll try very hard to make this better.
come back, move a fucking temple.
Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And with that, you all may rest in the temple for the night.
Yeah.
And I am going to call the session.
Alright.
Yeah.
So, you brought life back to a dead temple and figured out what you're going to do next.
Wait, we did?
Did
What are
we?
we doing next?
Oh,
Well, at least Dave had a very good idea.
Right, the library.
Yeah,
Yes.
the library.
Okay, yeah, definitely.
oh yes.
So, with all that, thank you all for playing with me. Thank you everyone for listening, and thank you Dally for streaming.
And thank you, Eli, for DMing. Take care, everyone, and good night.